This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Well, a packed Monday on Russo and Rizzo. Live here from the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach at the Regency. We're at the ballroom. We get the Lou Groza Awards coming up in just a couple hours. Honoring the nation's top collegiate kicker and some of the best kickers in Palm Beach County. All going to be here tonight. Going to have a good time. We're going to talk to all three of them a little later on in the program because we're got you up until 7 p.m. We got the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet from 6 to 7 today, and we got a whole lot of fun to be had. It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo alongside me. We got Christian Catt at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We had a packed weekend of sports, especially on the collegiate side of things. We know the college football playoff layout. We know who's going to play who. We know when they're going to play, where they're going to play, and we know, more importantly, who is out. One of those teams that are going to be out, looking out, is the first two, BYU and Notre Dame. Out. See ya. Goodbye. Both those teams got the short end of the stick. Miami ended up leapfrogging Notre Dame once BYU got out of the picture after they lost big in the Big 12 championship game. Alabama was another topic of conversation after losing 28-7 to Georgia in the SEC championship game. Yet the committee did not punish them at all. They stayed steady at 9. They're going to be playing Oklahoma on the road in that first round of the college football playoff in just about 2.5 weeks. Indiana won their first Big Ten championship since 1967, taking down Ohio State 13-10. I'm sure Mike is stoked about that. We'll get into that. And we got a packed divisional rivalry weekend for the NFL. A couple big wins, more key wins, and a couple big losses. We'll get into all that in the next couple hours. Let's start with Notre Dame, Mike. You like the decision, I assume?
Love the decision. I've been on the Hurricanes to get in over the Fighting Irish for a couple of weeks now. Head-to-head needs to matter. Head-to-head needs to matter. We need to keep seeing good matchups early on in the season. I want to keep seeing SEC versus Big Ten. I want to keep seeing ACC, the best of the ACC, when they're a good conference, versus the best of the SEC and the Big Ten. And the only way to do that is to reward wins like that. Did Miami probably have worse losses in Louisville and SMU? Absolutely. But they had the best win out of the two, and it was head-to-head. It was a no-brainer for me, and I give the committee credit. What was I telling you all last week? I said there's no way they're leaving out the gold pants and the gold helmets, and they did. And give the committee a lot of credit for having the you-know-what to look Notre Dame in the face and go, listen, you can't lose every big game you play and win a cupcake schedule, go 10-2, and make the college football playoff. And I think the message is clear. The teams that are in a conference got rewarded. Hey, Notre Dame, join a conference. That's what I tell a Notre Dame fan that's crying and kicking and screaming like a baby. And Marcus Freeman deciding not to go to a bowl game. Grow up. That's what I tell Notre Dame AD, crying and blaming everyone but themselves. Don't lose to A&M at home and maybe beat Miami on the road, and you'd be in this thing. I don't want to hear about Notre Dame crying. It's a kicking and screaming tactic, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
There's no doubt. They shouldn't be rewarded for being independent. They should be the odd man out. Now, could they have made the college football playoff that had a handful of different circumstances happen? Yes. Did they just get unlucky in terms of this is how the ball rolled? Absolutely. This should not call for we need to expand the playoff. This should not call, and that's what Miami fans would be saying today. Now, a couple things I want to say. Number one, I wonder if the committee would have stayed with their opinion had Virginia beaten Duke in the ACC championship game. Had that been an ACC representative already set, I wonder if the committee and ESPN, on the other hand, ESPN, who has the college football playoff on the TV rights, you'd wonder if they'd stick with Miami leapfrogging Notre Dame. I'd like to think they would, but it's definitely a topic of conversation. The ACC was not going to have a representative because Duke beating UVA knocks out basically everybody involved, especially as a conference champion. But, they got an ACC team in there. And as for Notre Dame going on basically a media tour, Pete Pavokwa, the athletic director of Notre Dame, who apparently is a good guy, does his job well, no doubt. I saw him on a number of different shows today. I didn't listen to the whole interview, but along the lines, he was saying how the ACC and ESPN and how they really hurt Notre Dame here and irreparable damage to their reputations. Let's take a listen to what he said. I believe this is in regard to the ACC specifically on the Dan Patrick Show earlier today. Here is the Notre Dame athletic director, Pete Pavokwa.
But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
So if I had to make a guess, that's the Notre Dame athletic director saying that. If I had to make a guess, I don't know if Notre Dame is this petty, but I could totally see them pulling out their other sports out of the ACC just to make a point.
Damage with what? Getting left out?
Well, hold on. The ACC.
Getting left out?
No. The ACC network played Notre Dame Miami all week. They played it from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Other than when they had a game, the ACC network was playing that specific game. You had all the people, ESPN, all the people attached to the ACC, fighting tooth and nail for the Miami. Now, there's an argument for Miami. I'm not saying there shouldn't be. But there was definitely a campaign done by the conference in favor of Miami. Notre Dame thought that was disrespectful.
Greg McElroy talked about this during the playoff selection show. We got to figure out how to get the best two-loss conference champion in the conference. Like, why isn't Miami in that game? Why the hell is a 5-loss Duke team in that game?
I'll give you an answer.
And not Miami.
Because the conferences are too big. And the conferences won't want to listen to that. They're too big. Why are they too big? Because you have opportunities for multiple teams to have 6-2 in conference. That's because there's 100 teams. It's not because there's 12 teams playing each other. The records wouldn't look like 6-2 or across the board if there were 12 teams in the conference. Because there's 20-some-odd teams in the conference from all around the country, you have lopsided schedules. You have half these teams don't even play each other, so you can't even tie-break them through it. And on top of that, teams like Duke get the benefit of the doubt because they didn't have to play Boston College, and therefore their ACC opponents had more wins. That's how that went. It's the
crazy.
Conferences are too big. That's the answer. It's not because we have bad tie-breaking principles. It's because the only reason there are 4 teams that are 6-2 in conference is because conferences are massive. Same thing happened in the Big Ten. We were going to have a 4-team tie had Indiana lost and Ohio State lost their last game of the year. We had 2 teams that undefeated, fine. But the fact is, we saw this last year. Penn State, Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State. We could have 4 teams with basically 1 loss hanging around there, and then all of a sudden we're 4-team, round-robining, trying to find the way in. It's because the conference has 25 teams. That's why. And as for Notre Dame trying to make a big deal out of this, what can they possibly say? What can you possibly say that will resonate with anybody outside of Notre Dame? It represents their mantra. They have always been the same. We're Notre Dame, and you're not.
Agreed.
And that's exactly the hill they're standing on. It's the hill they're going to die on. And them talking about how they got screwed by the committee here, here's what happened. Miami and Notre Dame were a ways apart from each other in terms of where they were in the rankings. The college football playoff rankings, people want to run around saying, oh, they mean absolutely nothing because Notre Dame got in until this last week when nothing changed. Here's what changed. Everything in between Notre Dame and Miami, all the teams that were in there, one leapfrog Notre Dame, the other one lost, this one lost, that one won, that one lost. It shrunk. And by chance, both these teams ended up being right next to each other at the end. And that's when they were allowed to really look ahead at it and say, oh, head-to-head, we got to flip it. Because it's one thing to have Miami at 18 and Notre Dame at 9 and say, well, Miami beat Notre Dame, so we got to put Miami at 9. No. That doesn't make any sense. But when Miami is 11 and Notre Dame is 10, you could have that same discussion because they're right next to each other and you're not hurting another team in the process. I think it's a simple process. I think the committee did a good job here. And I think they did a good job not leaving Alabama out. I actually think they nailed it on all fronts. And everybody saw this coming. Everybody saw this coming when BYU would be out. Then all of a sudden these teams are next to each other and Miami can leapfrog Notre Dame. And there you go.
And if BYU would have played Texas Tech better, then if they wanted to put BYU in over Miami, fine. Yep. But I totally agree that they made the right decision. It'd be like, let me stay with me here for a second because I want to see if you agree. It'd be like putting Ohio State, say if Indiana for the sake of the argument, all right, a what if. Say Indiana had a loss and they made the Big Ten championship. And they beat Ohio State, and they would have the same record. It would be like putting the Buckeyes at 1, even though they lost the game. It would make no sense because we saw the game happen. Indiana outright won the game.
Because they have a worse loss.
Correct. So, listen.
That's a good example.
We have the head-to-head. We have the head-to-head, and that's why. Correct. And that's why Miami got the nod. It's as simple as that. They beat them. And golly, I don't need to see I don't need to see teams canceling big-time games and or not scheduling big-time games. That's why I have a problem with Cignetti. I know we're giving Cignetti flowers and Mendoza flowers. They played great. They beat the number 1 team in the country. They have the best win out of any team. But the problem I have with Cignetti is what he said about the out-of-conference schedule. They're never going to schedule the big-time opponent.
Is he wrong?
He's not wrong. But at the same time, as a college football fan, and even as a Buckeye fan, I want to see us play the SEC week 1 and week 2. I'd rather play the SEC and not be completely, I guess, doomsdayed out of the college football playoff if we lose that. And now, for the sake of Notre Dame, there's no argument here because they're not in a conference. They got to schedule these big-time games or else they have the chance of being left out of the playoff. But even as Big Ten Mike and Ohio State Mike, I want to keep scheduling these opponents because I want to be rewarded for beating these opponents. And Texas, listen, the Sarkisian's upset, but don't lose to Florida. The Buckeyes didn't lose to Illinois. The Buckeyes didn't lose to Washington. They didn't leave any doubt to be left out of the playoff, even though they lost in conference championship weekend.
Yeah, so the teams that get left out, this is going to happen every year. This is why you have a 12-team playoff, because now you get more teams that have an opportunity to sit at the table, and therefore you get more teams that are going to be out of the table. Just because you have 3 teams that had an argument to get into the college football playoff does not mean you need to add an extra lane to the highway, because that doesn't fix traffic. Traffic is going to always be a problem. There are always going to be, if there's 16 teams, there's going to be 19 teams that have a bid. If there's going to be 20 teams, then there's going to be 25 teams that have a stake. So just because there's 12 teams does not mean that you need to expand anything. And just because you want to argue saying, well, James Madison doesn't deserve it and Tulane doesn't deserve it, I mean, fine. We're going to see them get destroyed. There's a reason that they're going head-to-head against the NFL on that Saturday in 2 weeks. There's a reason for all that. But to that point, the whole reason that you did that and have chances like James Madison's a fluke. That's blamed solely the ACC. And as for Tulane, that American game was a big game. And, North Texas didn't play well in that game, but that's the entire reason of why we do it.
Unless you want to make it the Power 4 12, you got to add a group of 5 team in there. You got to add a group.
Have the SEC Invitational if you want to do that.
Right.
Right. I'm not listening to this.
Right.
So they got the right 12 in. They actually did a good job. And, BYU lost twice, and people love to make the argument, well, BYU lost and they got hurt. Why didn't Alabama get hurt? Because Alabama's the number 1 seed in the SEC. If you're going to play blind and say that the SEC is the same as the Big 12, you're dead wrong. There's 5 teams in from the Big 10. I cannot listen to the other side.
And I even texted you on Sunday just to, make sure I was right on this. There's 5 conference champions, and that's why you said you blame the ACC.
Yeah, it's their
you
fault.
blame because that's why JMU and Tulane got in because they were 2 out of the 3
and that's why
5 conference champions.
And that Duke-Virginia game was fascinating because of that. And if you didn't have that type of game wouldn't matter.
Right.
Now, there's a couple arguments that were really been spiraling throughout the weekend because of this. Number one, I alluded to it just 2 seconds ago. BYU lost big.
And they played themselves out.
And they had a terrible game. They lost. They're competitive in the first half, and then everything fell apart. Then they got punished. Whereas Alabama lost, and nothing changed in terms of Alabama's resume. If Notre Dame wants to sit here and say we deserve it over Alabama, because Alabama, who, mind you, in the SEC, playing 4 teams off of bye weeks, the most of any team in the Big Ten of the SEC. They have 2 ranked wins. They have played a number of different ranked teams. They've won at Georgia on the road. If you want to say that you deserve a bid over them just because Alabama played in a game and you did not, and they lost to the eventual 3 seed in the entire thing,
and beat them on the road earlier in the season.
And the second time you're playing them, I cannot listen to that. I cannot listen to that. That is not true. And just because Alabama's not playing well, it doesn't mean that Alabama hasn't put together the resume to warrant being in.
And the team that they're playing, they lost to. It just speaks to how deep I think the SEC is, and it speaks to how Alabama, I think, probably has the Florida State loss stinks. All right, let's get that out of the way. But if you look at their whole schedule, they probably have the best wins, some of the best wins in the country.
No doubt.
Combined.
And quantity,
some of the best.
too. Quantity.
Yeah.
They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt.
Yes.
They beat Mizzou. I mean, they beat Tennessee. They beat LSU. They beat Georgia on the road. Like, they have good wins. And these are all teams that were coming off their bye. So.
And at the time, you got to look at it at the time. These are big-time matchups, ranked teams. Missouri was a ranked team. I mean, listen. I think Vanderbilt should have been in over Notre Dame. Honest to God, I had Vanderbilt as over Notre Dame. So, like, I know a Notre Dame fan's ready to punch me in the face right now, but at the same time,
there's nothing you could say.
There's nothing you could say, and Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt because they play in a conference. They played in a conference. They played this weekend. You did it.
And imagine
this. You did it.
Imagine this. And let's just float the ramifications. Now, there's 2 sides to this argument. I'm going to mention both. first side of this argument is, all right, let's hurt Alabama here. Let's hurt Alabama. Let's get them out of the playoff because they had a really bad game. All right, so they lost that game, and then they played the SEC championship game. They're the number 1 seed in the SEC where 5 teams are getting in. All right, fine. And Alabama does not win that game. They get killed by Georgia, and they get removed from the postseason. All right, then why should the next team that is 10-2 post-regular season, who qualifies for the SEC championship game next year, 2 years from now, whatever it may be, why should they even pack their bags to go to the game? Tell me why. Because, what, you're going to punish them? Oh, if you don't show up, you're not getting into the playoff? Well, hold on. We didn't even show up to the game. You're going to punish us for a game we didn't play in? And then on to the same token is, well, hold on. Well, we're playing in this game. Nobody else is playing a 13th game, but this could really hurt us, and we're playing the other top team in the conference when nobody else is. So that's where teams would opt out of the conference championship games. And, all right, so that's part number 1. Part number 2 is, all right, well, why am I making such an argument to protect a game that doesn't matter?
Yep.
Because the game doesn't matter.
And I'm happy the committee stuck with that.
Well,
I'm happy about BYU got screwed. But at the same time, the Big 12, I don't think is what the SEC is or what the Big 10 is.
To that point, there are 2 conference championship games total that don't matter. The Big 10 championship game doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because both those teams that usually get in are going to make the playoff, and the SEC game is the same way. Every other game, Group of 5, whether it's the American, whether it's the Sun Belt, whether it's the Big 12, the ACC, those all matter.
And to be fair,
I'd rather have those matter and 2 not matter than none at all.
I think if the ACC, say like Florida State had 2 losses, Miami had 2 losses, and they faced each other, those 2 teams would probably get in. For the ACC fan listening, blame your damn conference for being so inconsistent. The ACC could be a part of the Big Ten and the SEC in the sense of what Colin explained, that it doesn't matter if you have good teams. The best team, sadly, wasn't playing on that weekend. And that's why I agree with Mr. McElroy, former Alabama quarterback and current ESPN man. That's why I agree with we got to figure out a way how to get Miami in that game and not have Duke in that game.
Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, if what he's alluding to is, well, the commissioner should just handpick the best team and throw them in the game. That's how the tiebreakers work. It's just because the conferences got greedy and they added 17 different teams to a conference that doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's money.
That's it. And that's never going to change. That's never going to change. The grand scheme of this, if you're worried about the conferences and you're worried about the records, it's because the conferences are too big. That is it. There are 20 teams in the Big Ten. They do not need to be that many. They don't need to be 20 teams in the SEC. There doesn't need to be 20 teams in the ACC. You do not need would it be better off if there were 7 conferences and 12 teams? Probably, yeah. But this is money. They all want to conglomerate. They all want to get together. They want to monopolize, and that's exactly what you have.
How do you, and granted, this is Ohio State Mike talking, how do you punish Notre Dame for throwing a hissy fit and not going to a bowl game? That's got to be. You got to punish.
Here's your punishment.
You got to
punish.
punish.
They're not in the postseason. I mean, what their decision was justified because of Notre Dame's reaction. Notre Dame reacting the way they did, sour grapes. They were sore losers. That, to me, justifies the decision to leave them out. So they have enough of a problem because they're not playing in the big one, and they got screwed because they're not in the conference. So that's if you and I could script up a year for Notre Dame to make the most pain and regret for a Notre Dame fan, at the beginning of the year we would have said, all right, they go 10-2, but they don't make the postseason because they're not in a conference. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I would have said is the best thing possible for a Notre Dame fan to really have their chance to be within arm's reach of a playoff berth and not get it because of their situation.
I just think it's setting a bad tone for years to come. Like I don't want my team doing that.
No, I
know what I mean. I don't like if the Buckeyes miss the
teams that might be able to get
say
away with
Ohio
that.
State has 3 losses. I want to see them in a bowl game.
No.
I don't want them to tell the bowl game to kick rocks.
The Big Ten can fine the team for not participating in the bowl game. Same thing the SEC can, and so can the Big 12. Teams have tried to pull out in the past, and they get fined by the conference. Notre Dame doesn't have a conference.
I just think it sets up like Baylor. I saw that Baylor's decided to do I don't know. I just think it sets a bad tone for the sport. I think the fans would probably want to see another game. Dare me for thinking that the kids would want to play in a game. You think the Notre Dame kids would go, let's show everybody that we belonged, right? And then I know we had these conversations with Florida State when they got left out, and we saw how Florida State dealt with it. I think Norvell still is dealing with the repercussions of not playing anybody in that game. But at the same time,
let's see if that trickles down to Notre Dame a little bit. Let's see if that trickles through the program. Now, it hurt Florida State. You're 100% right. Now, there's this mentality of quitting when things don't go your way. and we're high and mighty, we're better than the rest, and we don't play by everybody's rules, we play by our own rules. Let's see if that trickles down and actually hurts the program long term. I'm not sure if it will because they can't handpick their own situation. But that's a quitting mentality. That's it. It's things didn't go our way, we're out.
And it's like, I feel like, Freeman would probably be preaching to the locker room all season long, don't give up, this and that. Well, what are you saying now? Give up? You're giving up now.
It's not a sportsman's way to do it. There's no doubt. It's not a sportsman's way to do it. But you know what? I can't sit here and scream at Notre Dame because they're not in the playoff. And that's what I want. I would rather them be miserable and be out of the playoff than them playing in some meaningless game. Fine. I'd actually rather this because this looks worse for Notre Dame. It gives you the impression that Notre Dame thinks that we are Notre Dame and you are not. That is what they've always been. That's all they ever will be.
I texted our Russo and Rizzo group chat right when this came out, and I'm going to steal some words from Christian Cat. The holier than thou stuff needs to end with this team.
We're Notre Dame and you're not.
I understand that, 11 national championships that they've won. They're an impressive program. When you think of college football, they're one of the top 3 teams that you think of. Fact of the matter is you haven't won anything since the 80s. I know a lot of teams haven't won, Colin. And maybe this is the Ohio State in me. But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, you haven't won in 4 decades.
It's a great program, but you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's a great program. And they were in the national championship last year, so we can't balk that they're not good in the big games. You got to give them a little credit, all right?
Well, some say they not me, because, obviously, they followed the yellow brick road, to get there. They played a Franklin Penn State team. They played Georgia without Beck.
All that tells you is that there's levels to this.
Agreed.
And there were 4 great teams. There's 4 wolves and 8 sheep. That's the college football player.
Agreed. I don't agree with it, but the conversations are out there.
Can't listen to that. I can't listen to that. Well, speaking of the other bowl games, you got Louisville, Toledo in the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. It's time to spill the beans, football fans. All right, the 12th annual Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, once again, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. It's going to have Louisville, one of the ACC's most exciting teams, having beaten college football playoff teams Miami and James Madison. They take on Toledo, looking to become the Bowl's first ever 3-time champion. Let's Louisville versus Toledo, a bean battle for the ages, bold, spicy, and totally satisfying. Don't sit on the sidelines. Scoop your seats now over at BocaRatonBowl.com. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, that's Louisville versus Toledo, December 23rd, 2 p.m. Flagler Credit Union Stadium down in Boca. It's bean-tastic. Well, we'll get into what the actual college football playoff looks like. Did they get the right matchups in terms of how the playoff is going to look? We'll get into the NFL slate. We got a lot to do. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Some pirates spend their miserable lives searching for gold and silver. Strike the sails and cast the anchor, mates. I see a floating chest. Tickets to the South Florida Fair. With rides, games, grubs. There'll be something for every mate in your crew. Forget a soul on your list?
Great last-minute gift.
Give them an experience they'll never forget. With tickets to the South Florida Fair.
Now on sale at Publix and SouthFloridaFair.com. Party with the Pirates opens January 16th in West Palm Beach.
Snowbirds, welcome back. Time to trade your coats and hats for swim trunks and sunscreen. And get your home ready for company. Before the family arrives, make sure your home's water is in top shape. Hard water and hidden minerals can leave spots on dishes, dull your laundry, and dry out your skin. Not exactly festive. Schedule your free water test today before the holiday rush. Culligan will make sure your water is as clear and welcoming as that ocean view. Visit Culligan.com or just say,
"Hey, Culligan man!"
This is the Delray Beach Open, the ultimate tennis party. Don't miss today's top professional tennis stars and legends in downtown Delray Beach. February 13th through the 22nd. It's 10 days of 140 miles per hour aces, parties, and all the good vibes. Come for the non-stop action on and off the court. Snap pics and post memories at the DBO. Join us for a jam-packed week of ATP tennis matches where champions play and fans party. DelrayBeachOpen.com for info. Tickets on sale now.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with George Teixeira, partner and practice leader of Anshin's Financial Services Group.
When launching a private investment fund, proper structuring could mean the difference between high tax bills and smart tax savings. The new One Big Beautiful Bill Act permanently extends the 20% deduction on qualified business income, makes favorable changes to exclusions of gains of qualified small business stock, and brings back full expensing on capital investments. For fund managers, this means new opportunities to reduce taxable income and improve cash flow. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we specialize in building tax-efficient structures that help funds and their investors make the right decisions today for greater success tomorrow. If you are launching a fund in this new environment, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
In sports and in life, how you move matters. So when injuries or pain get in the way, the orthopedic specialists at HSS Florida provide world-class care to get you moving again. From non-surgical and surgical care to personalized rehabilitation, HSS Florida offers the same quality and expertise you expect from HSS, the world's #1 in orthopedic care. With 2 convenient locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida. Choose better, move better. Mondays just got better for the men of Palm Beach County. Unlimited Auto Wash is offering $5 off any wash every Monday at all 6 convenient locations. Men's Monday at Unlimited Auto Wash. Don't miss it.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo over here at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach, where we get the Lou Groza Awards coming on tonight. We're going to have 3 of the top collegiate kickers. Find out who the best one is. Find out who's going to win the 2025 Lou Groza Award. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, ESPN South Florida on the ESPN South Florida app as well. You can go over to Men's Only Medical. You know, you had a tough weekend of eating, and you want to make sure that your blood pressure's all right. You go over down to Men's Only Medical.
They got liquid IVs. You know, if you need a hangover cure, you got to go see Doc Allen, 2400 South Dixie Highway, and go get a liquid IV to get you back into motion. But it's much more than that, too, folks. I mentioned the concierge healthcare service that I get with Doc Al. He is my primary doctor. If I got something going on, it's as simple as me calling Doc Al. I don't have to call a godforsaken number. I don't have to go online and book an appointment. I am calling Doc Al and telling him, Doc, I got something coming about. I got to come and see you over at Men's Away Medical. Skin assessment, hair loss solutions, everything you could shake a stick at, we got it at the West Palm Beach #1 location men's health care center for men. Keyword, for men. You go around West Palm, you see a ton of places for women. This is the one-stop shop for men. I mentioned the skin. I mentioned the hair. They got EKG tests for your heart. World-class cardiovascular health care with Doc Al over at Men's Only Medical. And listen, he's a Miami guy. He's a Cardinal Newman guy. He is a local man. He is very happy that his Hurricanes are in the college football playoff as well. Just go see him. Just go see him. Walk in there. You could talk to him. You could talk to Nurse E, do a consultation, and see if it's right for you. It's the concierge healthcare service at Men's Only Medical, 2400 South Dixie Highway. Tell him Riz sent you.
So the college football playoff is officially out, and in terms of the games and when they're going to happen, here's what we got. So there's a Friday night game on the 18th of December, the 19th of December, excuse me. That first night game is going to be Alabama at Oklahoma. It is one of a couple rematches that we're going to have here in this first round. Alabama at Oklahoma this time around. It was in Tuscaloosa the first time around, and then goes into the next day where you get a triple header. It starts with Miami at Texas A&M, and then you got Tulane at Ole Miss. That is another rematch, and where Ole Miss tore them apart, tore them to shreds the first time around. And then you got that last game, that 5-12 on a Saturday night, Oregon home against James Madison.
Now, you're telling me that they don't want Miami and A&M to compete with the NFL. Am I right on that?
Well,
on
the NFL
Saturday?
that day, there's Eagles Commanders. I believe it's a 3:30 kick, maybe 4. And then you got a night game, you got Bears Packers.
That's why. That's why I wanted to see that be a night game. And granted, but I'm a college football Johnny. You know what I mean? I know everyone else prefers
and
the
TNT,
NFL.
Turner Sports, HBO Max paid a whole lot of money to get 2 college football playoff games this year, first time. Usually it's just an ESPN thing. What games did the playoff give them? They give them James Madison, Oregon, and they give them Tulane, Ole Miss during the NFL.
You got to, what is that? Earn the right. You know what I mean?
Guess.
Earn the right for a big time game.
Are they screwed? Or that's the only games they got the entire playoff, and those games are going to do absolutely nothing.
Well, we're all going to be watching. You know, we all got double screens. We all got the multi.
I don't think so.
You don't think so, brother? You're not watching?
No, I don't think the majority of the United States has double screens.
You love JMU and Tulane. You love those stories.
I will. I watch the games.
You're going to have it on.
I watch the games. I watch the games.
Now.
But that tells you what the committee thinks about it.
Correct. I agree. And you don't want your biggest game competing with the
You know
NFL.
what I would have done really quickly here is
Okay.
I would have tried. I mean, can you not just flip-flop Alabama and Miami? Or better yet, Oklahoma and A&M or something like that? Because Alabama and A&M haven't played each other. Wouldn't you want to avoid the rematch? Doesn't that add a little bit more allure? Alabama, Oklahoma have already played. Tulane, Ole Miss, there's not a lot you could do about that. You can move Ole Miss potentially, but then you'd be hurting them for post-Lane Kiffin. I don't think they want to do that.
And granted, we have to Kingdom Come to break these games down.
Wouldn't you want to do Alabama, A&M there, and then Miami, Oklahoma? Wouldn't that be better?
I'm okay with Miami and A&M. I think that's the best
That's a fun
matchup.
game. There's no doubt about that game. I'm talking about Alabama, Oklahoma.
Dude, Oklahoma can win that game. Oklahoma can win that game. They already won.
No, I would bet on Oklahoma to win that game.
They already won at Bryant Denny.
Home is going to mean a whole lot in that first round. I don't like the rematch.
Okay, that's fine.
They've already played each other.
I kind of like that. I kind of like the rematch, and I like Miami having to go to Kyle Field. Is that not?
Well, yeah, there's no doubt.
Bro, they're the
Miami
last team.
Miami going to Norman would be the same.
But
thing.
I feel like, hear me out on this. I feel like Miami going to Kyle Field is more of a punishment. With all due respect to Booner Sooner fan listening, that's probably a better atmosphere, or rather a crazier atmosphere for the last team in. Miami was the last team in. I think it's apropos that they got to go to arguably the hardest home field around at Kyle Field.
Well, I know, but the one thing I could say is Alabama didn't move post-championship game. If you want to move them a little bit, wouldn't that make better just to put them – they haven't played A&M. They didn't play A&M this year, and A&M hadn't really played anybody great in the SEC. What better opportunity than have Alabama come into town? And then the other side of things, you have Miami, Oklahoma. I think that was how I would have done it.
I hear you, but I'm fine with the rematch because Oklahoma's got a great defense, and Ty Simpson and that offense have not looked like Ty Simpson and that offense
I know, but
for about a month now.
We know that because of the game
matchup.
that they played against each other 2 weeks ago.
But let's go. Strap it on, baby. This is the college football playoff.
I know.
Let's go. Rematch.
We
got a rematch with Ohio State and Oregon last year. That turned out to be very good.
It's fine. And it was also 3 months apart. But, I mean, that Notre Dame the Oklahoma-Alabama game, what was that, November 8th, November 12th, something like that?
This is the first time we are seeing a rematch within the first round. I'll listen to that. The Ohio State and Oregon game came in the Rose Bowl. I apologize. I forgot. But at the same time, I'm for rematches. You don't like that. You don't like playing the same team twice.
Not at all. If you could avoid it, that's so avoidable here.
I like it.
Mike, I'm sorry, but you said the Ohio State-Oregon rematch was good?
It was great. It was great.
The game sucked. The game was awful.
Sorry. It was great for me. How about that?
Thank you.
Sorry. It was great for me. But I don't mind rematches. I don't. And I think with the home field specifically, you played it at Bryant Denny in Alabama, and now you're going to go play it at Boomer City.
Yeah, Alabama lost the first time around. What makes you think they're going to win the second time around?
Because it's mighty Alabama.
So that's why I don't.
That's what Alabama fan is saying. Mighty Alabama.
Miami at Oklahoma would have been a better game with Alabama at A&M, and those are the only two games you got to worry about.
I would sleep on Alabama. I think Alabama can win that game. It's going to be enticing. It's
all
going to
the
be
home
enticing.
I would, if I had to bet today, all the home teams are going to win. If I had to bet, and that includes Texas A&M. That home field is going to mean a lot in that part of the year, in that environment. It's going to be a home field fest if I had to make a prediction. But nonetheless, the winners of each of those games, Georgia's going to get the winner of that Tulane Ole Miss game. Miami, Texas A&M is going to go play in the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State. The Orange Bowl right down here at Hard Rock Stadium is going to be James Madison and Oregon. The winner of that, likely Oregon, against Texas Tech. And then you're going to have Indiana take on the winner of Alabama and Oklahoma. I'm fine with all that.
I am too. Second round's going to be really good. I think the second round's going to be really good. The best matchup probably going to be whoever Ohio State plays, because I think either Miami or A&M. After seeing the Buckeye offense against a great defense in Indiana, you worry a little bit if the offensive line's going to hold up and if Julian Saint's going to look like a freshman. So that'll probably be the best
I think
game
you put
of
too
that
much
second
stock
round.
into the Miami defense. So a little too much stock.
They're good.
Good defensive
They're
line.
good.
Good defensive line.
Yeah, but that's the part that really tore Ohio State apart in that Big Ten
I
championship.
mean,
game.
Indiana is top to
Excuse me.
bottom an excellent defense.
Colin,
Top to bottom an
Colin,
excellent
the
defense.
Buckeyes had to make a substitution
Well, I
at right
understand.
guard. That guy, Shabola, started all 12
Well, I
games.
understand, but
and in the
hold
playoff
on,
last year.
Mike, Indiana did not give up points basically all year. So that's a great defense. There's no doubt. It's the number one team right now in the country. So I understand that. But Miami, I think you're giving their defense a little too much stock. That defense lives and dies. I mean, that team lives and dies with Carson Beck in a big game, who is not great in a big game, which is why I tend to think
That's fine.
I could totally see Carson Beck walk into this and walk out with 3 interceptions. I could totally see it.
I think probably the top 3 defenses within the playoff, Indiana and Ohio State, whoever you want to put over there, and then probably Miami and Oklahoma.
Texas Tech.
You think Texas Tech?
Not even a question.
It's a Big 12. But the only reason
Oklahoma
I say
and Texas Tech.
is there
Those two.
you put any stock into them playing
Hold
Big
on.
12 competition?
Why are we giving Miami that much credit when they gave up 27 points to Notre Dame and they gave up 4? It was the Miami against SMU and Louisville, where they gave up a ton of points as well.
24 points, I think.
Fine. I mean, what was Indiana giving up? 10? What was Ohio State giving up? 10? Texas A&M has. I don't think it's given up double digits all year. So.
I am worried. Count whoever comes out of there, A&M and Miami, very worried. You know, Mike Elko, I think top to bottom, when Marcel Reed is on, they're one of the best football teams in the country. So I think we're spoiled. We're spoiled with that matchup. And then I hope Indiana is Big Ten Mike, and I know Christian will agree with me back at the ranch. I hope Indiana is able to beat whoever comes out of the SEC and Bama and Oklahoma in that 9 versus 8.
I agree. I think that's actually a good matchup. Oklahoma is good against a good team. Oklahoma would be a better game than Alabama would. But I can't hate any of these spots. The one thing is Texas Tech, Oregon. You get Lubbock, Texas, Eugene, Oregon, going all the way down to South Florida to play a game. That would be a little rough. I'm curious on New Year's Day. I'm curious how they'll travel.
They also
what they'll look
the
like.
Orange Bowl. At least what I read online, the Orange Bowl was supposed to be the Ohio State Miami game, but obviously that would have been a home game for Miami, and that would have been the second time where the Buckeyes had to play in they played in Indianapolis, which was 70-30.
Have Miami somewhere else. Have Miami somewhere
it was the right move. It's the right move to have the Cotton Bowl if Miami wins that to avoid a possible home game. It's the right move.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you. We're live here at the Lou Groza Awards. We're going to hear from 3 of the top collegiate kickers over in the 5th quarter, which is going to be starting at 6 o'clock here on ESPN 106.3 and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Listen, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends, Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, the type that like to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back. They could get yours too, and they don't even charge you unless you win. Get that maximum compensation that you deserve with the best in the business. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand the best. Demand that Anajar and Levine today, because it takes just one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation now. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. A lot of things happen in the NFL. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are out. Dynasty might be over. We'll get into that on the other side of things. It's Drew Sonomers at ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit signoramawpb.com.
F45 Training in downtown West Palm and Wellington offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. F45 features high-intensity group-style workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven. They always have the right workout for you. The best part is, it takes just 45 minutes. If you're looking to train for something like High Rocks, F45 has you covered with tailored workouts. Get started today with a promo of your first 3 classes for just $30. Visit F45training.com to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 family. F45, team training, life-changing.
On Sunday, December 21st, the Palm Beach Kennel Club invites you to be a part of something meaningful, the charity poker tournament for John Martin. Known to so many as J-Mart, it's a chance for our community to come together and show support. Registration begins at 11:30 a.m. with cards in the air at 12:30 inside the PBKC poker tournament area on the second floor. It's a $50 buy-in with $20 rebuys and add-ons during the first break. Half the proceeds go to the prize pool, and the other half goes directly to help with John's medical expenses and his family. Every entry, every donation, every show of support makes a real difference. Your participation helps lift up someone who has made an impact on so many people, and together we can create a moment J-Mart and his family will truly feel. Let's come together and show John Martin, J-Mart, how much he means to all of us. Sunday, December 21st at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Get details at pbkennelclub.com.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home? The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo live here from the Lou Groza Awards at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You got a good Monday Night Football game on tonight on ESPN between the Chargers and the Eagles. You can watch that. You can bet on that on the Hard Rock Bet app. Download it today in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Hard Rock's the best because you put just $5 into the app. You bet that first $5. You win that first $5 bet. Then you get $150 in bonus bets immediately. It is that easy. Refer a friend, get $50 extra. Boom. Now you got $200 you can play with. All right, now what do? You go over to the Discover page and you see what other users are putting together in terms of their profit boosts, their specific parlays. You could tap and tag along on them, or you could get a little bit of a conception and idea, and then you can go and make your own parlay with different sports, different times, futures, game by game, player props, you name it, they got it. Hard Rock Bet offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida must be 21 plus. Physically present. Info to the wager. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. A number of good games yesterday. That Packer-Bear game was a very good game, and a game where I actually walked out of that very impressed with the Bears, despite them throwing an interception in the end zone to lose the game, essentially 28-21 to the Packers. But the game I want to start with is that Texan-Chief game. 20-10 final score in Arrowhead. It was an ugly game from the get-go. Kansas City couldn't get anything going from the get-go, and it was really Kansas City's decision tied at 10-10 to go for it on fourth down in their own territory, which really led to Houston's touchdown possession that kind of put them ahead, kind of put the thing on ice. But now, all right, 6-7. We could speak hyperbolically today.
They're done, dude.
Dynasty's over.
Okay.
Are you here?
I am. Unless they do some serious retooling around Patrick Mahomes and company. I don't want to overreact because Mahomes is, the generation, the quarterback of our generation, whatever. But, is there a fall off there?
He hasn't played well.
That's what I mean. So,
now, granted, they're down 4 offensive linemen.
I don't think okay, I'll listen to that too. Good point. But when you think of the best quarterback in the NFL, do you still think of Patrick Mahomes at this point? At this point and where we're at in this season, I asked myself that question after that game. I say no.
I take Stafford before anybody.
To start a game tomorrow, I think you're taking a couple of guys before Mahomes right now. And can he easily turn this around with a really good season next year? And so after some retooling, fine. But this year, I told you 3 weeks ago I thought this Chief team wasn't going to make the playoffs. I'm there. I've been there, and I'm here today parked in a double-wide spot with my trailer. That team stinks. They stink. And poor, Kelsey, He's probably going to retire. Do you think Andy Reid retires? Now the questions start coming up. If the dynasty is truly over, like you alluded to, what do you do with Reid? Does he ride off into the sun?
What do you do with Reid? You're not doing anything with Reid.
Do you ride a deal? Do you escort him into the sunset?
No. If he wants to go to the sunset, yes, but you're not getting rid of Andy Reid.
Do you escort him into the sunset? And if you're Travis Kelce, do you really want to come back to that? So I think there's some serious questions going on right now in Kansas City.
And Kelce caused a turnover yesterday, too.
Correct. And listen, who I think is one of the best tight ends in the history of the game, all right? That's another one where
he's old, he's getting married next summer. Do you really want to do this? If I had to make a prediction, I would say he's done, too.
I agree with you. The dynasty's over, and I think at this point of the season, you look at Patrick Mahomes and you don't call him the no-doubt best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, I mean, that defense did their absolute hardest to keep them in the game. The offense put them in tough spots. And Patrick Mahomes specifically on his deep ball, just completely no cohesion whatsoever with his receivers. Kansas City's done a bad job. They haven't put together a great roster offensively. You know, they got away with it when everything was clicking. They had a good offensive line. Travis Kelce was still great. They had a pretty good ragtag group of running backs. They were able to get away with it for a couple of years. But now, you get Rashee Rice, who did serve a suspension. You got Hollywood Brown. You got Xavier Worthy, who's always hurt. You got Tyquan Thornton. You got Noah Gray and Travis Kelce. That's your offense. And then you got Kareem Hunt, who has one game on, one game off because he's 28 years old. So from Kansas City's perspective, number one, they're unlucky. They're unlucky because they're not good in one-score games. And that, to me, can be chalked up in some capacity to luck. That is just not your season. The ball's not rolling your way. Ask Washington the same question that you're going to be asking the Bears. The Bears losing a ton of one-possession games last year, and all of a sudden they're winning them. Now they're a much better team. But back to the point on Kansas City, the offense, they did not do a good job building an offense. They've sort of just been riding on the high of this defense, but the defense is aging a little bit. They don't have a lot of good. They don't get to the quarterback. They don't turn the ball over like crazy. It sounds to me like it's run its course.
I mean, Mahomes threw 3 picks last night.
Yeah, he's not good.
He was the reason they lost the game.
Their backup left tackle went down in the first play of the game because his knee blew out. In the first play of the game, and they had an undrafted rookie the rest of the way against the best defense in the entire NFL.
I could, if your quarterback throws for under 200 yards, 3 interceptions, and no touchdowns, you're not beating anybody. And I know you mentioned the 4th down play. I agree. That's where the whole game turned. But to get outscored in that 4th quarter 10-0, unacceptable.
I thought Kansas City was going to play well in that game. They're good at home. They're 5-1 at home coming into the game. They're bad on the road. They had 10 days coming into it. They were going against a team that they knew wasn't going to do a ton offensively, but they couldn't move the ball.
Now, do you buy the Texans? Are you buying
score.
that?
They couldn't move the ball. Go ahead.
Are you buying what the Texans have done and the body of work that they've been able to do over the last couple of weeks?
They're averaging less yards against them than the Legion of Boom defense.
Incredible.
They're averaging less yards against them.
Historically great.
Yeah, they're great. Great defensive team. And they turn the ball over. And you know what the weird part is? I was looking at a stat the other day. I'm going to have to fact check it. But it was the defenses on a pie chart of how much disguising they do and how much blitzing they do. And the bottom left of this chart, this graph, was Houston, which means that they don't disguise their coverages and they don't oversend blitzes. They just play you straight up. They'll play you straight up. They have 2 great edge rushers, and they're going to say, we're going to play you straight up and see what happens.
And that's the reflection, I think, of their head coach. DeMeco Ryans was a hard-nosed player.
He's just never been able to. Their offense is still not very good. Now, Stroud played a halfway decent game yesterday. Now, Stroud played a winning football game. He converted a couple crucial 3rd downs. He did enough to win. You got to give Stroud a little bit of credit in a tough environment.
And he didn't turn the ball over.
And that offense is rough. It's rough. This could be a rough watch whenever they're in the postseason.
They don't have a running back either. Their offensive line needs work, and they got young receivers. They drafted the 2 kids from Iowa State, and Nico Collins is hit or miss. So. I think a lot of it has to do with the quarterback not playing well, fine. But the offensive line has always been an issue dating back to last year.
That team could totally win games in the postseason because of the defense. They could totally win games in the postseason.
They're fun.
Because they could really rattle a team. If you haven't played a defense like that, or more importantly, if you turn the ball over early against them, you could really get rattled.
And then it makes you think, if CJ could somehow, some way, in that offense, find a way to get back to what they did his rookie year when he threw for 4,000 yards.
I don't think that's happening in week 15. I don't think we're looking at that.
But at the same time, if you get one of those performances in the playoffs, I mean, geez, this could be a very dangerous team. We talked to Joe Theismann last week, and he goes, when we asked him about the NFL teams he said the Texans. I sat there. I said, really? And then you look at a game like that last night in Arrowhead, one of the hardest places to play in the history of the league over the last couple of years. You might kind of starting to buy into the hype a bit. I'm not saying they're going to go to a Super Bowl, but I'm saying that they could easily be a huge threat within that AFC. I kind of see what Joe Theismann was on about with this.
Their games remaining, they got the Cardinals and the Raiders both at home to follow it. And then after that, they go to the Chargers. That's a tough game. And then they got the Colts, who, by the way, the Colts now at 8-5, just lost Daniel Jones to a season-ending Achilles injury. And they have Riley Leonard, the rookie who's from Notre Dame last year, who just hurt his knee in the game against Jacksonville as well, who might not play next week.
Are we having conversations about how great the AFC South is, Colin?
Yeah, but the problem is, and it sucks to see because I actually think the Colts are a likable bunch. They're going to fall off the face of the earth here.
Well,
they got Seattle, they got the 49ers, they got Jacksonville, they got Houston. That's the rest of the way.
And the Jones injury is just
it's unfortunate. And it was on a non-contact play. He wasn't driving, he wasn't running the football, he was throwing, and his Achilles
he was the heart. He was the heart and soul of that 8-2 start.
Yeah,
and
they're in a tough spot.
Obviously he didn't play well the last couple of weeks. Fine, but with him out now. Forget about it.
Yeah,
Jacksonville, and Houston. I think
Jacksonville. I actually thought Jacksonville. Number one, Trevor Lawrence played the best game I think I've ever seen him play yesterday, by far.
I'm so happy for you.
Never played. I've never seen him play a better game in my life.
I'm so happy for you.
Take it easy. We're 9-4, and but outside of that, I don't think Daniel Jones or not. I don't think they would have beaten Jacksonville yesterday because they scored 28 points at halftime.
Yeah.
But one thing about the Colts that is unfortunate is I actually think they did everything right. You know, they went against they went against the grain on who to start at quarterback coming into the year, and everybody gave them a ton of flack for it. And then on top of that, they were unafraid to put Daniel Jones in there. They were unafraid to let him kind of sling it. They were a prolific offense for 8 weeks. They started 8-1. They were superb. And then what they do at the trade deadline is they went and got assets. They got Sauce Gardner. They were not unafraid to make a move. They were unafraid to capitalize. And it's all kind of crumbling down here. Now the Jets are thinking, boy, oh boy, we got their next 2 first-round picks, and Daniel Jones is going to be out for the better part of the year. So it makes you feel bad because they did the right things. They were not dirty. They played it right way. They have a good running. Jonathan Taylor's a likable player. I'm almost saying this in memoriam. But
no.
The Colts are done.
What you're avoiding is it's Jacksonville's division to lose now.
Yeah, Jacksonville controls the rest of it.
It's Jacksonville's
biggest game for Jacksonville is they play at Denver in 2 weeks, and them and the Texans are basically tied everywhere. They're tied in conference record. They lost the exact same teams in the NFC. They both lost to the Seattle and the Rams. They're tied in divisional record at the moment. It's probably going to be the same. They're tied right now in conference record. So, but the thing is, Jacksonville has Denver on their schedule, and Houston already played Denver, and they lost. So if Jacksonville loses that game, then we're looking at a head-to-head tiebreaker of biblical proportions if things play out the way it's supposed to. So I wonder. I'm trying to avoid entirely Houston, but that's only if Houston loses to the Chargers.
Divisional matchups left for Jacksonville or who?
Titans once, Colts once, and then they get the Jets. And then they get Denver.
Okay.
So Denver's on the road. That's the one tough game, but they have a lead.
Three winnable games and a tough one in Denver.
You know that Denver's going to be 21-20. You know that it's going to be that. You know it's going to be a.
And I know that, and actually that's wrong for me to say. The Denver game is winnable, but it's a tough game. It's one you look at and then you don't put the W next to. The other 3, with how things shake out, pretty winnable.
Absolutely. But yeah, dynasty done. And now, and now on the Houston side of things, they're probably locked into a good spot in the postseason because a lot of these teams, Baltimore lost, Kansas City lost. There's not a lot of threats on the outside, in the hunt, looking in.
Christian Cat, back at the City Point Studios, downtown West Palm Beach, our producer as always. Christian, you and I have a bet. If the Ravens make the playoffs, I'm buying you coffee for a week. And if they miss the playoffs, you have to buy me my ridiculous Chipotle order. Where are you at with that team
Mike,
right now?
I'm so glad you brought that up because I spent the weekend trying to remember. I remember my coffee terms. I forgot your terms
it's
of that.
It's just Chipotle. Yeah, it's just my one
it's
order.
It's not just Chipotle. It's $35
worth of Chipotle. Correct. $35 worth of Chipotle.
The bet's on.
It is.
The Ravens are not mathematically eliminated whatsoever, and they can control their own fate here.
I have Cincy. I count going to Ohio State and OU. I got a lot of Cincy buddies. They're trying to give me the garbage that they're still alive. I'm like, guys, You're done after yesterday, okay? Can you put the Joe Burrow jerseys to bed? You're done.
Mike,
right?
You're exactly right, because if the NFL's playoffs were decided like the college football playoff, Cincy would get a first-round bye. Like the way people talk about them. And
I agree.
They lost the game, but you probably will only hear positive press.
Correct.
About the
I'm done with them.
And on
I'm
top
done
of
with
that,
that. I can't listen to it.
Burrow's the one who lost in the game.
Yeah, correct.
They were up 4
2
points.
interceptions.
Burrow
Back-to-back interceptions.
He threw a pick six.
Back-to-back. And then an interception the next friggin' possession.
And he threw a go-ahead pick six, and he threw another interception right after that. So, that was Joe Burrow's game to win. They had them. They had them. And
I told my buddy Ernie to go to bed.
They still covered.
He texted me at 9 o'clock last night. Riz, hear me out. I said, Ernie, go to bed. Go to bed. You're done. Go to bed.
Done. And there's not a lot of threats in the hunt in the AFC. Unless something dramatically changes, and the Chargers have a really tough schedule, so you got to keep an eye on them. But we're looking like it's really starting to formulate a little bit now. I wonder what the Colts are going to do, because the Colts could very well lose every game left in the schedule, so all eyes are on them. But should be an interesting last couple of weeks. We got to get into the next hour where we'll do a little 5-5 with the aforementioned Christian Cat. We got Jonathan Zaslow joining us at around tomorrow, actually. He's not joining us today. And then we also have all the kickers who are nominated for the Lou Groza Awards. So we'll get to them at the 6 o'clock hour, so just about an hour from now, because they're here for the Lou Grozas at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach, awarded to the nation's top collegiate kicker. Lots to do, a lot of fun to be had. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This holiday season, give your loved ones, friends, and colleagues a gift with endless possibilities. Give them a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat those who matter most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new Golf and Racket Club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card. Compliments of the Breakers. This year, give a gift that has endless possibilities. Visit thebreakers.com today. Happy holidays from the Breakers family to yours.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, and yeah, I remember that one time I tried to turn ESPN 106.3 off. Silence is scary. I ended up pacing around the house and overwatering a plant. I caved. I grabbed my phone and installed the ESPN South Florida app. Truthfully, I'm better for it, and my plants are healthier.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com. pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. ESPN 106.3 has it all. It's Monday Night Football as the Eagles fly west to face the Chargers in L.A. Prime time under the bright lights with a big one on deck. Coverage starts at 7 right here on ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 1063. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMITTED.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Robinhood, the official jersey patch partner of the Miami Heat. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo live here at the Marriott with Lou Grocer's Award are going to be tonight. We're going to honor some of the top collegiate kickers in college football, some of the top high school kickers in the Palm Beach County area. That's all up to coming here. We got the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet from 6 to 7 p.m. today, where we'll have the aforementioned kickers all join us. We'll talk a little bit, have a good time with them. Should be a good time on that front. Go start your day with a win over at F45 West Palm Beach. It's a functional style of working out. It's 45-minute classes in and out in the morning or in the afternoon. You choose when you go, and it's great because you get two coaches on site. You get all the workouts on the screen in front of you, so you just follow along on what they're doing. And it's high-intensity interval training. It's made to get a sweat. You're made to feel mobile after. You're made to kind of increase your flexibility and, more importantly, increase your strength and cardiovascular ability. That's all at F45. You want to train for something like High Rocks, it caters to that. If you want to train just to get in better shape, that's exactly what F45, the people there, that's exactly what they were looking for. Check it out today. Check out the downtown West Palm Beach location on Instagram. That's F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Or find a studio near you online at F45. Christian Catt is our producer behind the glass at the City Place Studios. It's the 5 p.m. hour presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage. Christian, welcome in. How are you today? What's going on?
Doing fantastic. Got to watch the most football I have been able to in quite some time now, just with a lack of other work getting in the way. It was a good time.
And who were you rooting for over the weekend? Let me get this out of the way. Were you rooting for Duke to beat Virginia?
Yes, I was.
And were you rooting for Texas Tech to beat BYU?
Yes, I was.
Were you rooting for Alabama to lose?
No, I was rooting for Alabama to win.
You wanted Alabama to win.
Okay. More so, actually, just skinning the game there, honestly. I do. Yeah, I just had a couple picks with Alabama in some pools and whatnot. Didn't really mind the results of the SEC championship. Would have liked to see a good game. That's pretty much it, outside of my actual skin of the game.
All right, and Indiana, were you rooting for Indiana to beat Ohio State? Let's get this out of the way.
I was jumping for joy. Like, you would have thought that I was in the movie Hoosiers the way that I was rooting for Indiana in that game. I'm a Penn State alum, Penn State fan, so a lot of my friends are also Penn State alum, Penn State fans. And some of them were like, that should be us up there. See, that's annoying. That's awful. If anyone should unseat Ohio State, it should have been us. And I'm thinking, no. You enjoy the Ohio State losses whichever way they come. Enjoy it, because it doesn't happen that often. You know, every once in a while we'll get it, and you'll see Urban Meyer sad eating Papa John's in the back. Like, you enjoy the Ohio State losses. You do not complain of how they get there. You enjoy the Ohio State losses when they should be beating Michigan. We hate Michigan as Penn State fans. A lot of people hate Michigan, but you enjoy when they beat Ohio State when they shouldn't. So I was so happy watching Fernando Mendoza do what he did.
You happy about it, Mike? How do you feel about that game?
A lot of mixed emotions. I figured it was going to be in the 5-5, but regardless, Christian, let's do this now. Listen, Indiana deserved the game. Signetti deserved the game. And listen, the drive Mendoza had, the touchdown drive and that third down play call with 2 minutes left, unbelievable. Heisman moment. If you're not voting him for the Heisman Trophy, I question you.
Yeah, I was going to say, this feels like a game that if we treat this as one portion of a 5- topic segment, we would be minimizing how much these conference championships matter. And I think that it does its own service to talk about it as its own big thing, because that's a big freaking deal that Indiana won the Big Ten.
It is, and boys, my brother, who is the stepchild who can't stand Ohio State being from Ohio, we don't know what happened. He fell on his head. He kept on, he had a couple of drinks. He was visiting our buddy Matt in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he kept texting me, "You lost to Indiana in football." And I kept telling him, Joe, Indiana isn't the Indiana that you used to know.
Hold on. Now we're saying that. We're saying that.
This happened in the office earlier today.
Wow.
But listen,
now we're saying that.
At the same time, if anything, it was humbling for me. I thought Ohio State was clearly the best team in the country. They were cleared of Indiana, they were cleared of Georgia, and they were cleared of all the other teams that could compete. All right? I was dead wrong there. There's issues in the interior of the offensive line, and the quarterback looked like a freshman for the first time all year.
The offense, period, is strange. It's erratic. That's the one. If there's a weak link with Ohio State, there's nothing wrong with the defense. You saw it throughout the game. Indiana cannot chain move this defense. They're not driving down the field, getting 7 first downs.
No.
They need chunk play, and that's what I commend Indiana for doing in the game. They actually realized, all right, we're not going to kind of beat down on this defense and go 3 plays first down, 3 plays first. We're not going to do that. What we need to do is look for one-on-one coverage, trust, and they have 3 good receivers. Trust one of our good receivers, and one of them didn't even play, Omar Cooper. Trust one of them to make a play to get a chunk play off the board. That's exactly what they did. Yep. That's why I give them credit. That's exactly why they won the game.
Agreed. And Jermaine Matthews, who I think is one of the best corners in the country, he couldn't have played better defense, Christian, on that touchdown catch. Okay, it was unbelievable defense, and he was one-on-one in the slot on that 3rd and 6. He played unbelievable defense there. It was an unbelievable catch and throw. That's why you give credit to Mendoza. He stepped up in a big moment, and he had his Heisman moment. He's got my Heisman Trophy vote. With that said, boys, okay, with all that great stuff said to Indiana, Ohio State beat themselves. The red zone trips were embarrassing. The 4th and 1 play call was embarrassing.
Both
and
4th
then
and
not
1
going for it.
You don't need to do a QB sneak. And
Agreed.
Then you don't need to. You definitely don't need to kick it when you're driving down the field 7 minutes.
Agreed.
15 plays. We're here. Let's go.
Yep.
Your 4th and 1. Trust your running back who has been carving them to pieces.
Agreed.
I mean, give the ball to him. If you don't want to give it to Zayn, give it to him. Don't kick the field goal.
And listen, it's like. That's why, as a Buckeye man, I feel fine about going into the playoff. Now, Miami or A&M is going to be a tough game, and you got Georgia, who I think Georgia is stride for stride after watching that SEC championship right there with Ohio State. So, boys, it was humbling. If anything, it was good. And I don't know what the hell that 13-10 score is. It was the same thing against Michigan last year, and now the same thing against Indiana. But if I could look at this without blinders and not getting angry for not winning the Big Ten championship for the 6th year in a row, it's you played your worst game. The offense did everything possible in order to lose that game, and the defense only gave up 13 points.
Yeah, you have questions about the offense. You walk out of that game, you have questions about the offense.
Interior offensive line, and when you play a great defensive line like Indiana, you're going to see some great defensive lines in the playoffs, and the quarterback looked like a freshman for the first time all year.
I would have threw it deep 3 times a drive.
Agreed.
I mean, Jeremiah Smith is a freak of a physical player, and they gave him 2 chances, and he converted. You give him 3, including the Hail Mary at the end, and he converted 3 of them.
Yep.
I mean, do it twice a drive. Just give a shot deep.
Carnell Tate, first-round wide receiver, 1 target in the second half. I also think, let me make a couple excuses real quick. And they didn't do this, and I'm happy he didn't do it.
It's not beating themselves, though. This is Indiana having a good game plan and Ohio State
Correct,
playing
but
scared.
no, other excuses. We need to fix the calendar because the Hartline leaving, I think, was a big thing. Did it look like that guy was going to go take a head coaching job in that game and the plays he was calling?
He was on Zillow.
I mean, jeez, the play calling in that game.
House in St. Pete.
A big cousin of mine, Scotty, was at the game. Scotty's like, Mike, is this guy at South Florida already? No idea, Scotty. Number 2, you're dealing with National Signing Day and all the drama with Chris Henry and that garbage, Legend Bay, and dealing with a Big Ten championship. We got to fix the calendar. There's a lot going on at the Woody this past week. All right? No excuses, and I'm happy Day didn't bring it up, but geez. It's a lot of stuff happening.
Good for Indiana.
All unique to Ohio State, too.
And the thing about Indiana that was interesting was last year when they played this game, and last year when Indiana played great teams, it was clear that they were a step behind, not in the skill positions, not even a really quarterback, but on the trenches. Defensive and offensive lines were outmatched when they played Notre Dame and when they played Ohio State. When they circled back around this year, you didn't get that sense. You actually got the sense that the front sevens on either side actually matched up pretty well. It was clear that was a big deal to Cignetti in the offseason, and they wanted to get those guys bigger, stronger, faster, and that made a difference in the game. They were not afraid in the front.
Guys, tell me if it's Ohio State Mike talking. Miserable hold. Can I get a hold?
Yeah,
Can I get a hold on Kenyatta Jackson four different times on third downs?
Mike, if we had a penny every time somebody held somebody in the front seven, not in the secondary, it's one thing. Secondary is one thing. But in the front seven, if we had a penny for every time somebody was held, look at the Bear game yesterday. If you watch how they blocked Micah Parsons throughout the game, they still won. But that's just what happens, especially when you got good defensive players.
And then I thought the referees lost control on that sack. They called it a sack, then they didn't call it a sack. I thought the officiating was garbage all game, both ways. There were holdings on Indiana that didn't get called, but I saw more. Like I said, if it's Ohio State Mike talking, I said more. I saw way more. I saw 4 different instances when first-round pick Kenyatta Jackson was coming around the edge. I did. I got very upset about that call.
If you call holding every play, I mean, when it happens every single play, the referees are going to have to let them play a little bit. I understand your point. I understand the complaint. Here's the bottom line. Ohio State has to do a little soul-searching offensively on what type of offensive team they wanted to be. They had a couple. They had a couple gotta-have-it drives. They couldn't really do much out of it. They had that one drive where they had a chance at 4th and 1, and kicking the field goal is a loser mentality, and that's why the ball gods told them this is going wide left.
And I told Christian when I saw him today, I said, once you commit to going for it on 4th and 1, early on, you got to do it the rest of the game. You can't and listen, Jay Fielding, did you see the video of him hitting the friggin' post before the game? Brother, let's focus on kicking it up the uprights, okay? It's just a lot of emotions, guys. I wanted that for the team for the first time since 2020. Christian, selfishly, I wanted to be the first team to go 16-0.
Better for the playoffs. Better for the playoffs this way.
Now Indiana has that great opportunity. Listen, how about this? If Indiana wins it all, 16-0, Cignetti? Is he the best coach in college football?
I'm glad you asked.
I'm
very glad you asked, because that will be kick off the 5 at 5.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Number 1.
Yeah, the Hoosiers of Indiana beat Ohio State in Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship on Saturday night, 13-10, when Curt Cignetti entered Bloomington, Indiana. Indiana had the all-time lowest winning percentage in college football history. Less than 2 years later, Indiana's the number 1 team in the nation going into the college football playoff. Let's flash back 2 years ago when Curt Cignetti was welcoming himself in Bloomington and introducing himself to the fans. Probably couldn't hear because of the ravaging fans, but he said, Purdue sucks and so does Michigan and Ohio State. Is Curt Cignetti the most desirable coach in college football right now?
He's the perfect coach if you're trying to turn something around. He is right now, in terms of you don't know about consistency, you don't know enough about a big game scenario to really give him any sort of in-game coaching accolade like that. But if you needed to turn something around and you wanted things to go from 0 to 100 quickly, there was no doubt that he is the best man for the job.
I got in some heated arguments yesterday with non-Ohio State friends because they asked me the question, if Cignetti goes 16-0 and wins the national championship, is he the best coach in college football? And I said Ryan Day, and I argued it. I kept going. I said, listen, the consistency that Day has been able to do at Ohio State, and then my buddies will rebuttal, Christian, well, it's Ohio State. The ship drives itself. Has the ship driven itself for Alabama the last 2 years under Kalen DeBoer? Has the ship driven itself over at Michigan when Jim Harbaugh left? I think there's something to be said about consistency, but Christian, they might be onto something. If that guy goes 16-0 at Indiana and wins the national championship, how do you not say that's one of the best seasons in college football history? It really,
contextually, it's one of the best.
And also, Christian, heading into that Ohio State-Indiana game, Ohio State beat Indiana more than any team has beaten any team in college football history. In college football history, the Buckeyes have beaten Indiana more than any team has beaten any team in college football history. They wanted that.
It's contextual.
They wanted that.
And one thing I did see about the current formulation of the roster, they have 7 4-stars and the rest are 3-stars. They have like 56 3-stars.
Well, and that's it. Quickly, that's the argument. My buddy Pat kept arguing, they have the 70th best roster composite, and that's when I got hot and heavy. I said, you didn't watch that game and think they had the 70th best composite roster.
That's why I never buy. That's why I never get too far into the stars and stuff like that.
Stat geeking.
Enough. Look at Indiana. They had 7 4-stars in the roster and the rest are 3-stars. What does that tell you? There are other teams in the Big Ten that they beat head-to-head. What do you think Oregon has in terms of stars? They beat them head-to-head in Oregon.
Christian, I love a 5-star. Oh, I love
That's
breaking
why
down.
you're the wrong person to say
Christian,
this.
I love breaking down the
It
new
means
5-star
nothing.
heading to Columbus,
it
brother.
means
I am a sucker for that.
absolutely nothing.
I am
and
a
look
sucker
no
for
further
that.
than Indiana.
Sucker for a 5-star.
Look no further than Indiana. It means absolutely nothing. When you get the right guy involved, it means absolutely nothing.
To put a bow on this, quickly, to put a bow on this, I have concerns now. I'm no longer hee-haw, Ohio State's the best. No longer that. There are questions, and I'm a little worried going into the playoff. Let's line it up one more time. I would love to see Ohio State and Indiana round 2 in the national championship.
Who's the best team in football right now?
It's probably Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State. I know they put Ohio State over Georgia, but what Georgia did in that SEC championship and how good Gunnar Stockton has looked, that defense is starting to come along as well. I'd probably go Indiana, Georgia, and then Ohio State. And
I think Tech deserves some hype too. Tech has blown out everybody. Texas Tech has blown out absolutely. Maybe it's Big 12. Who knows? Now it's time to find out. They absolutely deserve that top 4. I actually think they're going to be a threat. Them versus Oregon is a good litmus test because Oregon's not the top of the line, but if they're able to beat Oregon and especially beat Oregon with a little bit of stamp of approval on it, then we're going to have to be that's one where I wouldn't be surprised 3 weeks from now if we're talking about Texas
Christian,
Tech.
I got humbled, brother. I got humbled, and I'm going to trust Coach Day like I didn't last year. I didn't trust Day last year. They won the national championship. I'm going to decide to trust my coach this year.
Number 3.
Well, the champions crowned over the weekend weren't just on the football field. They happened on the soccer pitch as well. Take it away, Ken Levicka on ESPN 106.3.
Almost sweeps the ball into the attacking half for Inter Miami. Chested by Messi. Oh, what a beautiful ball. Allende into the box. Allende! He scores from the top of the box. Sliding by Takaoka. Inter Miami is going to win the MLS Cup on Tadeo Allende's record-setting 9th goal of the MLS Cup playoff. It is chaos in South Florida. It is a championship celebration kicking off in South Florida. Inter Miami fans, your club has won the Major League Soccer Championship.
Man, those scenes are ridiculous. I'm looking at them right now. The pink smoke, no pun intended, just flying throughout the crowd there at Chase Stadium. How big is this, Mike?
Big time. I mean, to have this right in our backyard, Christian, here in South Florida, I know the world football fan knows exactly how big Lionel Messi is, but I don't think the average listener that listens to our station realizes how big of a star Messi truly is. That guy can't go anywhere in the world without getting recognized. He's one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, and he plays in your backyard, and he just won a championship. They're building a beautiful new stadium in Miami, and I can't wait to continue to be a part of it. Truly fascinating stuff from Messi. Truly fascinating stuff for his family. It was cool to see his family there, too. They got to be – and, Christian, the reason I bring his family up, all the kids were young when he was in Spain and Barcelona, when he was winning those trophies. They're going to remember this, and they're going to remember Dad as being arguably the best soccer player to ever play the game.
Max Bretos, who joined us on Friday, who does Apple TV coverage – for the MLS. He joined us, and he was gung-ho on Vancouver winning that game.
He was.
And he was gung-ho on England winning on our home turf. He's dead wrong.
Max can handle it, so I'm gonna call it. He was a phony for that.
Totally.
And, Max, if you're listening, I know you're laughing at that. But, Max, you're a phony for coming on here on the Inter Miami Radio Network and saying Vancouver was going to win convincingly and that England, who never wins on this side of the continent, was going to win the World Cup on United States soil. I agree with my friend Colin.
Number 4.
Let's go to the NFL, where we had one half of the division championship game take place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. In the NFC North, of course, the Packers beat the Bears 28-21. What was your main takeaway from that matchup at Lambeau?
First of all, the Bears did not need that game. They did not need that game. That game will that division will be decided not only in the games they still have yet to be played, but that game in Soldier Field at the end of the year, or in 2 weeks. Next Saturday is when they play again. They play quickly. And more importantly, the Bears did absolutely nothing in the first half, especially passing the football. They couldn't get anything going. And you got to give Caleb Williams and that offense credit, because not only were they able to kind of wake up in the second half, that final drive, when Packers just scored, they went 65 yards in 7 plays. Josh Jacobs tore them apart to do the go-ahead touchdown, 28-21. Caleb took him right down the field.
He did.
Took him right down the field, and he was making some pretty wild plays. I was very impressed, all things considered, with Chicago. The officiating had some moments, but ultimately, the Bears, they showed a lot of guts. That was an impossible game to win in that situation.
Logistically, Colin is correct. They didn't need the game. But talking to Bear fans is, Christian, working in Illinois that's all of them told me. They go, Riz,
wanted that one.
That was the game to turn the tide. I reminded them that they play him again. You play him again.
You play him again next Saturday.
You play him again. You're going to have a chance. But they're like, Riz, it could have turned the tide. I don't want to hear all that. The Bears are 9-4.
It's about the little brother mentality that the Bears have with the Packers.
That too. But also, we mentioned our good buddy Ben Brust at ESPN Milwaukee. And, the high and mightiness of the Packer fan, whatever. God, I was rooting for the Bears. Sorry. 21-21.
I wanted that for my Packer over, which I'm in a good spot.
I had a good feeling 21-20. 21-21.
Caleb Williams is so good with his legs. He is a top 5 scrambling quarterback in the NFL.
Well, you see.
Yeah, he's not great at throwing on the run because he fires it at 500 miles an hour, but he is great when you're talking about pocket presence, getting out of way, knowing when to scramble. He's lure, and the one thing about it is it was a fun game to watch because they had Brady on it, and Brady, every time he does something wrong, Brady will air it out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very good kind of game for Brady to have, because you're constantly micro-judging either side at the quarterback position. But I was impressed with Williams yesterday, even after a terrible first half.
Christian, you're starting to see why people were calling him the generational talent and no doubt #1 overall pick. You got to get good coaching in there. And
he's a good player.
Ben Johnson's a hell of a coach. Quickly, boys, Jordan Love, you're starting to see some consistency there. I know he threw the pick, but
that
3
pick was
touch
terrible.
It was awful. It was awful. One of the worst picks you'll see all year. Turn it around, 233, 3 touchdowns. If the Packers get that, guys, they could go deep in the playoffs. I think people, they got it all wrong, I think, when it comes to the Packers. I think that the whole playoff run is riding on their quarterback, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, their defense is really good, and offensively they get a lot of pieces, and Christian Watson has played outstanding.
Dude, deep ball threat.
They just got Jaden Reed back, so they're now getting healthy. And they used Josh Jacobs just enough for it to work. I was impressed with both sides there. It was a good game. It was a well-played game.
Number 5.
Let's go back to college football, where Notre Dame, mere hours after they were left out of the 12-team college football playoff, said, you know what? We're not going to play any bowl games whatsoever. Give me one word to describe that move from Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's a little elitist. That's what it is. It's elitist. We're too big to play against Georgia Tech in a bowl game. We're too good to play against this team, that team. It's Notre Dame, and you're not. It's a little elitist.
Now, Christian, this might not necessarily be a word, but
it's an uncomfortable listen for me. Thank you.
It sounds like
that's
Kevin
Notre
in
Dame.
The Office.
That's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Christian, I got my cup right underneath Marcus Freeman, and I'm going to be drinking the tears. And by the way, Freeman's a Buckeye. Shame on him for the defeatist mentality of we're not showing up to the bowl game.
That might not totally be his decision.
Shame on a former Buckeye man. We don't do that, Christian. Buckeye men don't do that.
He might not
Shame
make that
on
decision.
him.
They do now.
He might not make that decision.
But Christian, wham, cry me a river. They're a disgrace. You hit the nail on the head. The holier than thou crap. I mean, jeez. Go cry a river and go home. I don't want to see it next year either.
I hate Notre Dame. I love seeing this, and I got no sympathy for them, and I got no. I don't even hate them because this is what they've always been. I've seen this in Notre Dame. I know this. I have someone who went to Notre Dame in my family. You go there, they all go to church before the game. They walk down the stupid stone path, and they wait for the team to walk into the stadium. It's a waste of time. There's a special tree
for
that they
the
gotta
record,
go take a look at.
hang on.
It's a waste of time.
For the record, Colin and I are Catholics. We love our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I'm a big fan of the church.
Right?
It doesn't need to cost $100,000 to go see church.
I agree. But I don't want this to act like we're bashing our own religion. It's got a place. It's got a time and a place.
It's not about Catholicism. I don't need to spend
got a time and a place.
$75,000 a semester. There's no price on Jesus Christ.
Christian, I told you why I can't stand Notre Dame, all right? Wait, we're from Ohio, damn it.
There is no tuition money.
Christian,
that makes you more Catholic than me.
Christian, CYO football on Saturdays. We want to know the Buckeye score. Sister Rita, we don't want to know the Notre Dame score. Tell us the Ohio State score, not the Notre Dame score. We're in Ohio.
That was the 5-5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. We'll take a timeout here. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
During football season, keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today, kick off your game day comfort, and don't sweat the small stuff.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
The PGA Tour is back in Palm Beach. The Cognizant Classic returns February 25th through March 1st to the Champion Course at PGA National Resort and Spa. Be here to watch PGA Tour players take on the Bear Trap, one of the toughest stretches in golf, while enjoying elevated fan activities around every corner. Experience the energy with your friends and take in the excitement of this can't-miss event. Tickets are on sale now at thecognizantclassic.com.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like the clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers, and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Target, great memories start with great prices. Get gingerbread house kits for just $12, plus all the Wonder Shop baking must-haves. Gather the whole fam, grab some gingerbread kits, and start building sweet moments together. Then keep the joy rolling, baking up tasty treats with Wonder Shop that'll make the season a blast. Make unforgettable memories with incredible prices on gingerbread kits and Wonder Shop baking essentials. And step into the holidays, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
I'm only human, y'all.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo alongside me. We've got Christian Cat back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Joined now by the executive director of the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. Brand new name this year. First year of Bush's Beans getting into the fold here. Mike and I are going to be diving into a pool of beans on game day. So stay tuned for that, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. And, Doug, we actually know who's going to be playing in the game now.
We do. But I got a piece of business I got to do with you first.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Remember last time I talked with you guys the day we announced the title sponsorship and everything? And just by slip of the tongue, what did I say to you? There's a can of beans out there with your name on it.
Dougie! Dougie! Yeah!
Cans of beans.
Oh, my gosh. Rizzo and look
with
at this.
your names
Dougie!
on them.
Look at that.
Look at this, Dougie.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
got a
my
Russo
God,
and Rizzo
yes.
can of beans
Hang
as
on,
well.
there we go.
Doug, are you kidding me?
Dougie Fresh.
So we're looking on the YouTube live stream. We got a Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. And it says Russo and Rizzo, and one for Russo, one for Rizzo. How about that? And it has the Boca Bowl logo right there, and it's right here. Wow, look at this.
This is awesome, Doug.
But you can't open them up for the beans because there's none in them.
Wow. All right.
Big thanks,
thank
Amy
you so
Bolin,
much.
who's the brand manager.
Looks like now we got to jump in. Now we got to
jump in.
Now we got to
If there's a dunk tank full of beans, we got to.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct. I might. Doug, if it's the barbecue style, I might eat my way out. How about that? I might eat my way out.
All right, Doug. So we know who our teams are going to be now. Take it away.
You know, we got Louisville late. We knew we were going to get Toledo, and then there was all that shuffling and everything. And of course, I think we, across all the bowls, we kind of figured there was going to be at least one. And so when Kansas State went out, not a huge surprise. Iowa State followed them. The big surprise was Notre Dame, and I don't want to speak for, against, whatever. They made that choice, and then everything toppled. So then we had to go start fishing through the 5 and 7s. You're supposed to go by APR, academic progress rate. But some of these have been done for 2 weeks. They've sent their kids off. They haven't practiced since their last game. So, I can understand why some of them said, hey, we can't do it. Our kids are all gone. So as we went down through the process, and we were even, because we had a good, pretty good inside knowledge, we were going to get an ACC team. So we kind of go down through the list. We're counting them off. It's like, who's still in? And I see Louisville there. And Louisville, Lamar Jackson went to Louisville from Boynton Beach High, won a Heisman Trophy. Ashton Gelati, defensive lineman from Boca High, he played at Louisville. Both those guys are in the NFL right now, plus a lot of other guys from all other places.
Yep,
so what a program, and what a coach, too, Coach Brom.
And, Dougie, this is a team that beat Miami, who is in the college football playoff. This is a high-level ACC team we're about to see in Boca Raton.
They beat 2 college football playoff teams. They beat Miami at Miami. They're the only team in the country that beat James Madison.
Yeah, it was the lone Power 4 game that James Madison actually played.
Yep.
They beat them by 14, I believe, in that game.
Yeah.
And now, Doug, for somebody who doesn't know, people listening, you're the executive director of a bowl game right here in South Florida, the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. All right, last week, what does that look like for you in terms of, figuring it out? Do you have a hand in deciding who gets where? Do you make calls yourself? How does the executive director of a bowl game eventually get to the point, Louisville, Toledo, December 23rd. Walk us through that process.
So, we're part of the ESPN Events Bowl Games, owned and operated by ESPN. We work through our folks, our division offices in Charlotte. My boss is up there. A long time ago, I let him know. here's what I'd like to have. And, it really went all the way back to when we were doing the date, because
Give
that's real key.
A little bit of a wish list in a way.
Told them, the last couple of years, when school was still here in the county, a lot of families, kids couldn't come out. So it was a matter of getting the right date. And the 23rd was just perfect, because it allows the team to get back in time, for Christmas. They get all their kids back home, but yet they don't have to practice through and after Christmas, which is, sometimes kind of a bummer. So we were thrilled to get them. The Toledo thing came, Toledo's been here twice. They played well both times, won both times.
And it comes from ESPN.
Yes. Well, and we work it back together.
In some way.
But see, they're trying to place for all of our bowl games.
Right.
So there's a lot of shuffling back and forth. We all saw what happened with Birmingham Bowl. They had a couple things fall through because of teams that decided not to play. So, as I'm looking at that ACC list dwindling down, and I'm seeing Louisville still there, and I'm like, man, that would be a great one to get. And, they were ranked as high as, I believe, 14th in the nation this year. Had some losses at the end. Toledo now, conversely, Toledo won coming in, because they were in that tie for second place in the conference standings to get in the conference championship game, and just missed out on the tiebreaker. But they were hot right there at the very end.
Yeah, and they got a football coach, certainly, Doug, that is a really good one, obviously taking a job from the great season that he had. Now, let me ask you this, partner. I'm sure you don't have any issues getting a team down here to Palm Beach County in December December 23rd and freezing cold everywhere else but down here in South Florida.
It's like our bosses said, if there was enough stadiums in Boca, we could fill them all with football teams that want to be down here. They want to play down here. It's like I was talking to Theo earlier, and, he was like, what's the draw? And I said, well, first of all, I'm selling, the beaches, great weather,
beans,
sunshine, palm trees, beans.
Yes.
But the real draw, we were just talking about it. How many NFL kids from here have gone to Louisville and on? It's the student athletes. It's the high school players down here. It's the prospective student athletes for these guys. They want to be down here. They want to be around them. They're going to invite their coaches to come out to practice. They'll bring somebody with them, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of excitement about getting down here because this is seen as one of the recruiting hotbeds. This is a place they want to come. They want to be in front of these kids, and hopefully they're going to take some back home with them.
And on top of that, you mentioned a little bit about the actual schedule of the game itself. The 23rd of December, it's a little separated from school time, right, because it's near the holidays, so therefore it's easier to travel as a family. That probably was the biggest forefront in the mind, not only with the date, but now you see which schools are going to be here, Toledo, Ohio, and you got Louisville, Kentucky. Do you think you're excited to see those fans come down to South Florida? Because you make an argument that it's a destination type of bowl game. Tell me a little bit about getting the actual fan bases from their respective schools down to Florida.
Well, first of all, you know who our biggest competition is, don't you? Our own doggone network. They make it easy for you to stay at home, kick up your feet in your own living room, drink your own beer, eat your own popcorn, your own pizza, and watch the game. So we got to make it a little bit better than that. Of course, just the sizzle of coming here. I don't want to run down any other bowl games, particularly ours. But what other place would you want to come but South Florida? What a great place to come. Our weather's going to be great and everything. The everything's still green. It's just the place to be. So Toledo has traveled, from all the MAC teams we've had, Toledo traveled really well twice.
Good.
Louisville has a reputation for traveling well. So I think we've got to match up that, and I'm being on the 23rd, so they can either, and 2 o'clock game even, they can either fly out that night, fly out the next morning, be home in time for Christmas.
Now, Doug, what year number is this for you?
12.
Oh, wow. So with that, what's your favorite part of the process?
Oh, when the kids get here. When we do airport arrivals at PBI, we go out on the tarmac, we have a band that's playing songs, a high school band from here. And when those kids come off the plane, I'll never forget one team, they were all bundled up. They had left like 20-degree weather, and it was like ice storm when they flew out. They get down here, they land, they get off that plane, man, they start shucking off parkas and all that. Had a dance party on the tarmac. They were so happy to be here. So I love that part of it. Love to see them here. And then the game itself. So.
And right now, last thing I'll ask you here, Doug Mosley joining us, the executive director of the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. You got your new title sponsor. Last time we talked to you was the announcement of Bush's Baked Beans joining into the action. Tell us a little bit, a couple weeks removed, now that they've sort of settled in as the title sponsor of this great event. What can Mike and I expect on the game day environment in terms of what we're going to see with Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans? Who's going to be out there? What type of things can we expect?
We know we're going to be dunked in some beans. So
in
some capacity, we're going to be dunked in beans.
Well, I can't give you all my secrets in one interview. I got to space this out.
Of course.
So I'm going to promise you this. Next week, I'm going to have a full range of the promotions that Bush's is doing. They have been fantastic to work with. Their agency is very creative. The brand manager, Amy Bolin, is really a lot of fun. She's the one that hooked me up with the cans here in the backpack.
Once again.
So we'll be coming back to you with that. But let me tell you, it's not going to be just your ordinary bowl game, obviously. It's a bowl of beans.
And weirdly part enough, everybody thinks I'm crazy for it. I never heard of Bush's.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I've never heard of the Bush's Baked Beans until this event. This is why they get the title sponsor of the actual bowl game. So guys like me now, if next time I see Bush's Baked Beans, go ahead.
Did you grow up in a barn? I
don't know. Like, whenever I'm at I remember I told Doug this. Doug goes, "You ever been to a barbecue?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been to a barbecue, but I don't ask the brand of the baked beans
oh man,
in the bowl. I don't
hell
do
have
that.
you been, kid?
I don't do that.
Now you got your name on a can.
Now I got my name on a can. Doug, we appreciate it. Toledo and Louisville are going to be the highlights of what to expect from this year's Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans coming up December 23rd, Tuesday at Flagler Credit Union Stadium down in Boca. Doug, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking again soon, all right? That's Doug Mosley.
Good to see y'all.
That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo. Taking the time out of here. We'll game plan for greatness next on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Whether it's a clutch touchdown pass, a game-winning dunk, or an impressive dash to the finish, we want to highlight the best performance of the week. The winning performance will receive $500 courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Catch the biggest moments and winners all season long on ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. Nominate them today by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Welcome to being treated like a pro.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Hey, Shot, I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe, little mama. I see you gon' ride for me, so I'ma die for you. Is you with me?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo live here at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach. Big thanks to Doug Mosley for joining the program there, the executive director of the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. We got you up until 7 p.m. today, where we're going to hear from the 3 Lou Groza Award finalists who are live on site here at the Marriott, going to be honored at this great event tonight. You got Aiden Burr from Georgia Tech. You got Kensei Matsuyawa from Hawaii, who beat Stanford in that first game of the year. I remember that very, very well. And then you got Tate Sandell from Oklahoma. We'll talk to all of them. Stay tuned for that.
Hey, hang on. Coach Salem.
Tim Salem,
special teams. Christian, he came bearing gifts. I got a Georgia Tech lanyard out of it.
Whoa.
He's buying votes. That's
Yeah,
what
he's
doing.
bought my vote.
That's what he's
He
doing.
bought me a pin and he got me a lanyard. Coach Salem has my vote.
If,
tell you
if
that.
we talk to Tate and Tate's got me an Oklahoma hoodie with the Jordan logo, I'd be a happy camper. Nonetheless, that's Mike Rizzo and Colin Russo. Let's game plan for greatness. We got Monday Night Football tonight. Let's get to it. Presented by Men's Only Medical. Men's Only Medical.
Men, games aren't won on Friday night. They're won Monday through Thursday.
You find out life's this game of inches.
It's about preparation, it's about discipline, and it's about showing up ready to dominate.
That's gonna make the difference between winning and losing.
And now, your game plan for greatness. Brought to you by Men's Only Medical. Visit mensonlymedical.com.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go play some football. Let's go.
Folks, that's Men's Only Medical, 2400 South Dixie Highway. Go see Doc Al. Go see my guy, Concierge Healthcare Service. Go see if it's right for you. The one-stop shop men's health clinic here in West Palm Beach. Well, Game Plan for Greatness, where we come up with a game plan for the Monday night teams that are playing on Monday Night Football. Now, Colin, you could have the cheating khaki pants, Jim Harbaugh. I am going to take the Eagles, and it is important that Eagle offense gets back on track. Get that ball going with the Saquon Barkley run game. And, I mean, geez, can we get A.J. Brown the ball? Can we get Devontae Smith the ball? And it's funny because we talked about it on the show. I say, can we get these guys the ball? When they get the ball, they don't win. It's time for them to put it together offensively. Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator for the Eagles, his house is getting egged. I mean, these fans are crazy in Philadelphia. They got to get the offense back on track. And tell us a little bit about the Chargers, Kyle, on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Chargers are another part. It's been a team that's been littered with injuries, especially on their front offensive line. They have talent, especially offensively, just with their skill positions and their quarterback. But as keeping them healthy, Herbert, don't turn the game into a 100 difficulty level for Herbert tonight. And that means you got to protect him a little bit. That offensive line is going to come after Herbert early and often. They're going to try to make him uncomfortable throughout this game. This is an important game for the Chargers because they don't want to be one of those teams that sort of reels at the end of the year. And they have a tough schedule. They're going to have to steal one of these big games eventually. They got Houston hot on their trail. They got all these teams that they're going to have to worry about, including they still have that tough division that they're playing in. They still got to play Denver again. So if you're the Chargers, it's been the same thing for 3 years. Protect Justin Herbert and take the load off of him considerably. If you're able to do that, then we'll be looking at a game where I could see both sides being very competitive.
Yep, and once again, this is Game Plan for Greatness, brought to you by our great friends over at Men's Only Medical. Go get your health game plan from my buddy Doc Al at Men's Only Medical. You visit them, mensonlymedical.com. Kyle, where do you put the Eagles in the NFC right now? Where are you rating the Eagles? I'd probably go Rams, probably go Seahawks, and then we could have a conversation. I think those two teams, for me, are clear right now of Philadelphia, what's going on, but never sleep on a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say the Packers are in that argument as well. But here's the thing. The Packers, they're playing well right now. The Eagles had a 2-game losing streak. They've done this before. They had a 2-game losing streak, when they lost to the Giants and they lost to the Broncos back-to-back at the midpoint of the year. What did they do after that? They followed it up with some impressive wins. I actually anticipate that tonight. I anticipate the Eagles to get back on track because they know if they stack a loss, it's fine. But, I don't see this being a really out-of-hand type of losing streak at this point in the season. I think they got too much experience, too much of a winner's mentality, and I do think they'll be okay.
Who needs the game more?
Eagles
or Chargers?
I would say the Eagles.
Eagles.
I don't even think it's because the Chargers have more competition in the actual division. The Eagles don't necessarily as much, especially after Dallas lost to Detroit on Thursday Night Football. But I would say that the Eagles are thinking about, we need to put ourselves in the best position to be trending in the right direction once postseason play starts. You want at least a home game or two, and you want to making sure you're playing your best football right now. In my opinion, that includes a couple of things. You mentioned getting the ball to the receivers, absolutely, but I think they worry too much about that. I think getting the running game going and getting Saquon Barkley going makes everything easier for everybody else. You know that Saquon Barkley can kind of withstand a 100 to 150-yard load, and if he is playing well, that offense will play well. It is not going to be a pass-first offense. It is never going to be a pass-first offense. It is important to get the running game going. It is important to get the run game consistent. It's important to get Saquon Barkley on the
I just think there's a spoil riches on that offense, and for them to have the issues that they are, listen, egging a coach's house is absolutely ridiculous, but that's how crazy these fans are. It's like with the weapons you got on offense, you're going to have to figure it out. I don't condone egging houses, but certainly Philly fan is one of a kind.
I think he'll call a good game because they got his ass egged. I see. You're not seeing the bright
side.
side.
It's a bad look.
You're not seeing the bright side.
Dude, I cannot believe you're taking side of Philly fan.
I'm not taking side of Philly fan.
Yes, you are.
I'm not taking side of Philly fan.
You're basically saying Philly fan did this on purpose to get Kevin.
Yeah, they did it on purpose. Why do you think they did it on purpose?
To get Kevin Petula. They did it on purpose to get this guy to kick it in gear. No, they did this because they're idiots. That's why they did it. With all due respect to Philly fans.
And when he calls an excellent game tonight, who do you think will be laughing? We're all happy.
Why are you egging somebody's house? This
I
isn't
agree. You're nowhere near a person.
Christian,
home.
this isn't freshman year of high school where you all right, come on. You're grown men egging an offensive coordinator's house. Grow up.
Just one thing I'll say. The wrong way to do it, wrong execution, wrong plan, yes. Right thought process, I can't say I disagree. You had to get him to hear it eventually. He's not going to hear it from the reporters.
Oh, they hear him when they're chanting "Fire Petullo" in the third
Petullo's
quarter.
not listening to WIP, listening to all the criticisms.
When they're chanting "Fire Petullo" in the third quarter, I think he hears it. Am I wrong on that?
The one thing about Eagle fans, you got to give them a little credit for, is they know what they're talking about. At the very least, they're on top of the team. Now they're nuts.
They're delusional and nuts.
Delusional. You know what you're dealing with right now? You're dealing with your first case of that's what an Ohio State fan base looks like, but you're Ohio State, so you don't see it. So now you're seeing it because that's what the Eagles are.
What do you mean, dude? I just told you I got humbled over the weekend.
Mike,
I'm scared. I'm scared for the playoff, mate.
Ohio State fans are like Eagle fans. They're like Eagle fans. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, dude.
Yes, it is. It's the same thing. Now you're just seeing it. Now you're seeing what you look like to everybody else.
Dude, we're not running around championship
What they do? Hold on. What
they
do after Brian Day lost to Michigan last year? What they do?
Granted, they went after Coach Day. I don't condone that, but we're not running around the championship parade with our willy out. All right, that's not.
Yeah, the Philly fans are a little more trashy.
They're weird. They're weird. They're a weird bunch.
That's one person. I understand. Point being, that high level team fan that is nuts and annoying and obnoxious.
By the way,
Pot's calling the kettle black.
Game Plan for Greatness brought to you by Men's Only Medical. We appreciate Doc Al over on Dixie Highway.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Eagles win tonight because I think the NFL is better when the Eagles are playing well. I don't think this needs to be a 2-division NFC. I think it needs to be a 3-division NFC, and therefore I want the Eagles to be playing well because the NFC South is in complete shambles. That's the Panthers to take, so keep that in mind. And on top of that, the NFC West is great and the NFC North is great. But the NFC East, I mean, the Giants haven't done anything special, and the Washington Commanders have been a mess of themselves, true mess. On top of that, I mean, they didn't even show up in the game yesterday against Minnesota. We haven't even talked about that yet. And Dallas is doing exactly what Dallas is going to do. They're going to be first or second team out in the NFC playoff picture, but they're going to show a lot of highs, but they're clearly a flawed bunch.
They needed to win against Detroit. They needed to win against Detroit.
They're clearly a flawed bunch. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. But I actually think the Eagles are going to play well tonight. I think they're going to call a good game tonight. I think the offense is going to play pretty well tonight. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing if Kevin Petullo calls a little bit of a masterclass.
After having to clean off some eggs from his house. Now, Colin, our interns did something different today with our Duffy's social media video. Go to @ESPN West Palm. They asked us Super Bowl favorites. Who's your Super Bowl favorite? You want to know what I said? Christian will hate this. I took the high road. I said I don't have one because it's wide open. And it speaks to how good the NFL has been this year. I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl, and I think it's amazing.
At their best, I think the Rams are the most dangerous team. But yeah,
but you get what I'm saying. That's why you can take it as a cop out, but that's how I feel.
Go get started at Vitacost Sports Certified Marketplace. If you're an athlete, if you're just somebody who wants to get in a better shape, you got to understand that just showing up to the gym and doing it every single day, it's about 20% of the actual work. The other 80% is how you fuel your body, what you put into your body, because if you don't get out what you put in, you get out what you put in, and that's truly what happens with your nutrition and your supplements. And Vitacost Sports Certified Marketplace, it's built for athletes, fitness enthusiasts, people who like to train hard but understand what the benefits of clean supplementation and nutrition can do for you. Whether you're prepping for a triathlon, grinding at the gym, just trying to be a little bit more health conscious, Vitacost is your go-to for leveling up your game. Their Sports Overtime Marketplace has over 400 performance-enhancing supplements that are all certified, which means that there's free of banned substances. There's no funny business going on. They all help you level up your game. Visit Vitacost.com/sport-certified to make your purchase today. Use code ESPN20. That's ESPN20 for 20%
Now,
off. Level up your game at Vitacost.
Is your vote going to get bought like how mine was bought by Coach Salem?
Absolutely
at
not.
Georgia
I'm
Tech?
going to talk to each of these kickers, and we're going to find out who I believe is going to be the Luke Rosa Award winner. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. ESPN 106.3 has it all. It's Monday Night Football as the Eagles fly west to face the Chargers in L.A. Prime time under the bright lights with a big one on deck. Coverage starts at 7 right here on ESPN 106.3.
On Sunday, December 21st, the Palm Beach Kennel Club invites you to be a part of something meaningful, the charity poker tournament for John Martin. Known to so many as J-Mart, it's a chance for our community to come together and show support. Registration begins at 11:30 a.m. with cards in the air at 12:30 inside the PBKC Poker Tournament area on the second floor. It's a $50 buy-in with $20 rebuys and add-ons during the first break. Half the proceeds go to the prize pool, and the other half goes directly to help with John's medical expenses and his family. Every entry, every donation, every show of support makes a real difference. Your participation helps lift up someone who has made an impact on so many people. And together, we can create a moment J-Mart and his family will truly feel. Let's come together and show John Martin, J-Mart, how much he means to all of us. Sunday, December 21st at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Get details at pbkennelclub.com.
Snowbirds, welcome back. Time to trade your coats and hats for swim trunks and sunscreen. And get your home ready for company. Before the family arrives, make sure your home's water is in top shape. Hard water and hidden minerals can leave spots on dishes, dull your laundry, and dry out your skin. Not exactly festive. Schedule your free water test today before the holiday rush. Culligan will make sure your water is as clear and welcoming as that ocean view. Visit Culligan.com or just say,
Hey, Culligan man!
Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Joshua S. Jew, who operates out of Good Samaritan Health Center through the Palm Beach Health Network, and he explains how Florida is in the Stone Belt when it comes to being at risk to developing kidney stones.
There's a 1 in 10 risk of having kidney stones. Down in the Stone Belt, which is the southern part of the United States, especially the southeastern part of the United States, that risk is even higher. A lot of that's due to dehydration, which is probably the biggest risk factor for kidney stone formation, as well as diet. Having high oxalate-rich foods can predispose to stone formation risk. Florida is right in the middle of the Stone Belt, so a much higher risk of having stone disease here.
That was Dr. Joshua S. Jew from the Palm Beach Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
Imagine a bank that is always in your court. One that sees their customers as part of a team, with the common goal to achieve their dreams. Well, imagine that. There is one. We're Amarant. We're ready to help you wherever you are in life. And just as importantly, wherever you want to go. Amarant, official bank of the Miami Heat.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio
The
station.
following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during this program are solely that of the hosts or guests of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
Yeah, here we go.
2 hours are not enough.
And that'll do it for regulation.
Welcome to the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Take this one to overtime.
Russo and Rizzo bring you the stories, the takes, and the breakdowns that go beyond the final whistle. We head into overtime. The fifth quarter starts now.
It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you with the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. We're live here at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach. The Lou Groza for the top collegiate place kickers in college football. We're going to be honoring all the three nominees tonight. And on top of that, some of the best kickers from throughout Florida and Palm Beach County and the extended area. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm and ESPN South Florida. I'd like to welcome in one of the nominees for the Lou Groza Awards. We'll find out a little later on in the process. And Aiden Burr from Georgia Tech joins us right now. Aiden, welcome in. How are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm good. How are y'all?
All right.
Great. And first off, Aiden, I got
Coach
bought.
Salem,
I
Coach
got
Salem,
bought.
Tim
Yeah.
Salem, who's the special
See
teams
here?
coordinator for
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. We talked to Coach Salem a little bit. He was a wonderful guy to talk to. He gave us a little bit of a insight into the team a little bit, and he comes by and gives us a little
Yeah,
here.
and I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it for you today.
I don't know. I think
you
he's
got
buying
my
our-
vote. You
he's
got my
buying-
vote.
Listen,
bro.
you don't have
Yeah.
to say this. Coach Salem's buying our votes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're gonna have to
Absolutely.
take it up with Coach Salem.
Yep.
Nonetheless, Aiden, congratulations! It's such a great season with you guys and the actual Georgia Tech. I know you guys are in bowl season. On top of that, but tell me a little bit about being honored for this award. Was this always on the radar for you? Is this sort of like it's the Heisman for kickers, right? So tell me a little bit about, was this always on the radar, or was this sort of a pleasant surprise?
Nah, definitely always on the radar. I mean, when you start kicking, you kind of hear about the Lou Groza Award, and it's just something that, as a kicker, you want to be in that group. You know, there's a lot of great NFL kickers and former college kickers that are also finalists and semifinalists. So I've definitely wanted to be part of this group and legacy.
Now, partner, when did you start kicking? How old?
I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
That's when
All
I
right,
started.
so before you say anything, when I've talked to a number of kickers who have been nominated for this award before. It goes one of two ways. Either it's a player that was a great soccer player and he decides to shift over, and because the football coach noticed him during practice or something, and all of a sudden he's a great field goal kicker. So that's number one. And number two is you were sort of specialized from the start and you knew you wanted to be a football kicker on top of that. So tell me a little bit of how this started. Which route were you, or were you option C in this regard?
Well, I played soccer my whole life before that.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. Now, that's world football to me, brother. World football, but
All right,
no.
so you were a soccer player growing up, and then did you know you wanted to shift, or did somebody have to convince you? How'd that go?
Well, I started getting burned out from soccer. I'd played from such a competitive league for so long that I was getting a little burned out, and I wanted to try football. But my parents were always like, I don't know, you're so good at soccer, like keep going soccer. And then I started to play football in 8th grade, and they were like, my mom was like, you have to be a kicker, like you're not playing any other position. But I was like, no way, I don't want to be a kicker. So I started as like a tight end, DN, like playing kind of everything. I come into my freshman season, and my high school team needs a kicker.
Every high school team needs
Yeah,
a kicker.
and everybody's like, you got to give it a shot. And I'm like, no, like I do not want to kick. Like I want to keep doing this, and I ended up giving it a shot.
Defensive end, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad I went to kicker because I wouldn't be at this level that I'm at right now playing defensive end.
Now, partner, you had a lot of moments in college, but give me that high school moment. Did you have a moment in high school where it was a 50-yard field goal or an insane yard field goal in a big game where, you put your team to victory?
I had a game winner my junior year, but I wouldn't even say it was really in a game where I like knew I was going to go to college. It was more, I didn't go to any of like the ranking camps when I was in high school. I would just go to college camps, and just seeing how I stacked up against those guys, I was like, yeah, I think I can do this at the next level.
And how did Georgia Tech get involved, and how'd they get their eyes on you? Where are you from, by the way, initially?
I'm from Fort Worth, Kennedale, Texas, but
so how do you get on Georgia Tech's radar?
So Tashard Choice, who was the running back coach at the time, and Tim Connor and Jeff Popovich, they contacted me on Twitter, wanted me to come out to a camp. So me and my dad came out in the summer, and I performed really well, and they ended up offering me like a month later, and I committed on the spot. I mean, I knew I wanted to go to Georgia Tech right away. It was just the coaching staff at the time, and the city and the school. I knew the school was a great school, so I committed right on the phone call. I was like, can I commit right now? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I'm ready to go.
And coming in, when you were learning how to kick and when you were sort of applying the skills that you had naturally, when you were growing up playing soccer, and you got to kind of apply that to kicking. I'm always fascinated with it's a specialist position, there's no doubt, and it gets only kickers can talk about how, I guess, intricate it is in terms of how you do it, right? Foot placement, how you do your walkout, everything like that goes into it, flexibility. Tell me a little bit about, did you ever dial it in, or did it always feel natural for you? Did you always have, was it the leg first that you had the power behind it, and then you had to sort of dial in to make it accurate, or were you always accurate and you had to dial it in and get the leg? Or was it sort of both at the same time?
I feel like it was a little bit sort of both. I mean, when I did play soccer, I was a goalie, and like any goal kick, I would just try to boom it. Like I'm trying to get this way out there, and
right to midfield.
Yeah, and that kind of, once I got into kicking, you start to realize, well, you can't always just boom the ball, because you boom the ball, it's going all over the place. You kind of got to dial it back sometimes at that 75, 80%. And once I figured that out, it was there on from the race,
Now, what's a kick you couldn't believe went in? Do you have a kick where in college you're like, oh, my God, I seriously just hit that? Or is it a nerve-wracking kick, a game-winning kick? You had a multiple of them. But what's that moment for you where like, oh, my God, that seriously went in?
I mean, there was one in the spring. I hit a 62-yarder in our spring game. Is
that your career long?
Yeah, that would be my career long in a spring game or in a game setting.
Ever?
But well, against Clemson, I hit a 55-yarder in a game.
Right.
So in an actual game, 55. But I mean, I can hit a 65 off of sticks. I haven't really tried with a snap and hold, but I have hit a 62 snap and hold.
And one thing about college too is the hashes are wider.
Yeah.
So kicking by and large is harder because number one, the environments are crazy, and number two is it's just a little bit more dramatic in terms of the angling that you're actually going to have to kick. Obviously, when you go to the next level and when you're training for the next level, that sort of hones it in a little bit, but that gets it difficult. What type of, I'm sure the team knew, but like what type of specifications did you like? Were you a left side hash kicker? Would you like the right side? Did you like center on as best you could? So how did you prefer it?
Personally, I love the left middle and the right middle. Kind of like an NFL hash. Like I love those kicks, and but I mean, wherever the offense puts me on the field, I mean, my job is to go out there and make the kick. So I mean, I don't really have a preference. I don't really tell them, I need the ball in the right hash here. I mean, wherever we can put the ball down, and if I need to go out there and make it, I'm going to try to make it.
And that's Aiden Burr from Georgia Tech, finalist for the Lou Groza Award for the top collegiate place kicker in college. Now, one thing about the kicking is you said the team's relying on you to hit the kick. There's a mental toughness, a mental strength that goes into that. Icing kickers, popular. And I always wanted to get your perspective on this because I'm sure there have been times when you've been iced a number of different times. You had big games this year where you had to kick field goals, Wake Forest, Boston College, both on the road. So I was curious on when you know that everybody's relying on you and you know that this is sort of on your shoulders, and that type of mental toughness, was that something that was built over time? Was that something that you kind of had? What went into learning how to deal with the pressure of being sort of everybody relies on it with the place kicker?
I think it's a learned skill. Like you kind of have to go through some hard times to kind of realize, get a process down to like what's going to work. And I lean on God. I go out there and I lean on my process. You've kicked thousands of times at that same spot, and really just leaning on God. When you're out there, it's like 30 seconds. You run out there and the kick's probably 4 seconds in the air, whatever. That is not your entire life. You just kind of got to go out there, and just knowing that my teammates always have my back, whether I make it or miss it, it's a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders.
Now, do you have a pro you watch? Do you have a couple of pro kickers that
do you treat it the same?
Like, then that's another thing. Like tape. Are we watching tape? Or are we watching the strike of the ball? Like, what? Walk us through if you're watching pros kick and kind of trying to emulate that, and how you kind of determine tape.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure every kicker's watching Brandon Aubrey right now. I mean, he's really killing it.
You get to midfield and you win the football game if you need a field goal.
Hold on. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. You should have some sort of
Cam Little.
You should have some Jaguar ties. Georgia Tech, you should have a little Jaguar tie, and it's Atlanta. It's sort of right there. But Cam Little's another one who hit by the way,
correct.
Brandon Aubrey gets all the credit for having this huge leg.
Well,
who has the NFL record? Cam Little does, but nonetheless.
But you get to midfield and you win the game.
You're watching them and you're thinking what? What can I take away from pros like that? Do you take anything away?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see, what their movements are. If, Jason Myers is a big one I watch too. There's really no wasted movement. He doesn't dip his shoulders. He's very tall at impact, and that's something that when I'm kicking, that's what I try to do. And I mean, he's really the guy I watch. I mean, his
Jason Myers, huh? He's had a good career, very good career.
His form is perfect. I mean, it's textbook for any kicker. And I mean, that's somebody that, you know, throughout my mentors in kicking, Jaden Overcrom, who taught me how to kick, and Ryan Longwell, another mentor. Just those are the guys that, you know, like, you know, you look at Jason Myers, he's just perfect when he's out there. You know, that's who I like to watch and try to emulate my stuff after.
Before we get into the season a little bit, I got to ask you, does icing work? When they call 2 timeouts to get in your head, and they're trying to get in your head before you're kicking a big shot, does that actually work?
I mean,
Coach Salem's right here. He's your special teams coordinator.
Yeah, correct.
He would. Does it work? Does
It's
it get in
overkill,
your head a little bit?
right? It's a little over. The second one's overkill.
I think you're so used to it. You're going out there expecting to walk back off because you're expecting an icing. No.
What I've, you know, this year I've had some of those moments and they don't call the timeout, and you're almost expecting the timeout. So it's almost a little reverse psychology.
If I was a coach, that's how I'd do it.
You wouldn't do it. Okay, fair enough.
So either way, you almost sit too much in your own head on a field goal kick. But that's like the mental toughness thing we talked about, right?
It kind of depends. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been iced in a while, but it's just something that you kind of got to go back and restart your process. If you don't restart your process and you start thinking too much, you're going to go out there and miss the kick.
And Georgia Tech, you guys had a superb year, especially throughout that beginning 9-10 games here. Tell me a little bit about what point in the season did you realize that, all right, we're going to be one of the top dogs in the ACC? Was that coming into the year? You knew this team was special. You knew what you had was sort of culminating at the right time. Haynes King, who was probably an outsider getting a Heisman votes throughout probably 10, 11 weeks throughout the year. Tell me a little bit about the expectation. What did Coach Key, Coach Salem, all the guys tell you coming into the year about, all right, what to expect for here from Georgia Tech?
I think, you know, just me personally, like even in the spring, I thought we could be very good. Like we had a really good talent, and then I think after that first game, like we didn't start off the game, you know, strong right away. We had a couple turnovers on offense, and our defense held up strong, and I think that's kind of when I knew, like when we pulled that first game off, I was like, this is going to be a special year for us. And you know, Haynes he's a great leader, and you know we'd do anything for that guy, and I know he'd do anything for us. So
now, do you have a best friend on the team?
I gotta say I'm a holder. I mean, you know, I'm with them the most. You know, punter, Marshall Nichols. I mean,
I guess that one was a layup. Now, how about this? Give me the favorite moment. You've had a lot of great moments throughout the entire season. What's that favorite moment that you have while being with Georgia Tech this year?
I think my favorite moment personally is the walk-off field goal versus Clemson. The Mayday or Toro, whatever you want to call it. We kind of go out there with 20-some seconds and we end the game in the field rush. I mean, it's something you kind of dream of, and it's honestly, I tell everybody this, I dreamed about it that week, you know, that I was going to hit a game winner, and it happened, and that was my favorite moment of the year.
And tell me a little bit about the toughest environments that you've ever had to kick in. I mean, ACC is interesting because I think some schools, and I've heard this from a lot of guys who have played collegiately in the ACC, you know, some people say bad things about Louisville. Some people say bad things about playing at Boston College. Some people say bad things about, you know, playing at Duke and how they just sort of have bad mojos to it, and it's strange going in there to prepare for a game. What type of environments did you play in that you always thought, this is a crazy, crazy weird environment to play in? Could be toughest, too.
There's a lot. I mean, Louisville got loud, and I think not that surprised me because I knew NC State, they usually bring a good crowd, but it was pretty loud there this year, and it was a good environment, and they packed it out for their homecoming, and it definitely played a factor in that game, I believe.
Did you ever play at Georgia?
I have played at Georgia.
Yeah, that's the one I got to ask for because, you know, from the outside looking in, it always seems like that was a pretty crazy atmosphere there.
It's definitely, I mean, they got 92,000 or whatever, but we want to get a win there. So.
Who do you hate them the most? Is that the team you hate the most?
Yeah, I mean, we need to get a win there next season, and I think we got a good shot.
And throughout the year this year, especially being a Lou Groza finalist, now you're doing your rounds, right? You got to get ready for bowl season. You got everything going on. You got the 2 other finalists here. Now you're going to be doing a couple events. You're going to see seeing who's winning. Now you're in the thick of it, right? This is sort of, let's find out who's going to win the Groza this year, and then you sort of have to get back into reality almost. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about how the last couple of weeks, how the next couple of weeks are going to look for you, your family, all the people that are traveling with you, for the coaches that are here now. Tell me what it means to be, I guess, nominated and be a finalist for the Lou Grozas.
I mean, it means everything. I've kind of told some people that I feel like this is almost a team award. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it without my coaches or my team. I mean, they block for me. They snap. Ronnie snaps it. Marshall holds it. I mean, I'm thankful for them, and I'm, you know, just it's such an honor to be here with Tate and Conce. I mean, they're two great kickers, and I watched them a lot this year, and I'm glad to be a part of this event.
Now, no video games, no anime. You're a golfer.
I try to be a golfer.
Now, what's the handicap? What's the handicap?
Oh, it's bad.
It's bad? I'm awful, too.
He probably
so
hasn't
don't
played
worry.
6 months.
I'm awful, too.
Probably hasn't played
Go-to
6
club.
months.
Go-to club. Pitching wedge? 9-iron?
I mean, I like my driver.
Okay.
But I lose, the first ball.
Don't tell me your best shot is your tee shot. Am I wrong here? Is that your best shot?
There's not a lot of good shots in my game, So
Yeah.
I mean, the driver.
And then you like cooking steak.
I do.
Right? Now, you told us the iron cast. You don't
Yeah.
go on the grill. You're on the stovetop.
Now I'm a cast iron guy.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that more flavor?
Yes, it is.
I think you can get the better sear on it, and it's.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And I'm sure somebody like you, who knows what you're doing with a cast iron, that's where you're thinking, you could screw this up. Somebody who gets a hold of your cast iron and wants to mess around with it, they could screw everything up.
Yeah.
And was that something you had growing up? You're a Texas guy.
Texas guy. They cook. That's all they do is eat
That's all they
steak.
do. They cook.
They eat steak. That's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up eating a lot of steaks. My dad and my mom would always make them, but just I'm in an apartment, so I don't want to go out to the grill. You don't know what's going on out there, so I just stick with the cast iron, and I make some good steaks. I'm proud of what I make.
What the hell's going on out there?
You never know. I mean, are people cleaning those grills, or?
You don't know what's been cooked on that grill, Mike. Aiden, terrific season you guys had, and I'm looking forward to continuing following your career as you guys could roll on here. Best of luck throughout these awards. It's a great honor to be here with you now, and hopefully with all the other kickers as well. But we appreciate you giving us the time.
Thank you all.
Thank you, partner.
That's Aiden Burr, the Georgia Tech kicker, one of the finalists for the Lou Groza Awards. Appreciate him giving us the time. It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We'll take a time out here. It's Russo and Rizzo on the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Get ready for one of the biggest college football events of the year. It's the 12th annual Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at beautiful Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best Group of 5 teams battle it out in sunny South Florida. And just like Bush's Beans, the game is packed with real flavor and tradition. Over 150 players have gone from the field to the NFL. Who's going to be next? Grab your seats now by going to BocaRatonBowl.com. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans.
Whether it's a clutch touchdown pass, a game-winning dunk, or an impressive dash to the finish, we want to highlight the best performance of the week. The winning performance will receive $500 courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Catch the biggest moments and winners all season long on ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. Nominate them today by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Welcome to being treated like a pro.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey! Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit SignoramawPB.com.
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or BradleyAir.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Sudden death starts now.
Gotta be better than that! That ain't gonna win! That's not gonna win!
This is the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go down the Hard Rock Bet app today, because if you get started, you download it for free on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Put $5 into the app. Put $5 into the app, you bet that first $5. You win that first $5 bet, you get $150 immediately deposited in your account as bonus bets. You could do that. You could bet on the NBA. You could bet on college basketball. The college football playoff is coming up, and Tate Sandell, the place kicker for Oklahoma, will be joining us momentarily. He's going to be playing in the playoffs, so we'll talk to him, and we'll be talking to a number of other kickers live here at the Lou Groza Awards with the Palm Beach Sports Commission at the Marriott in downtown West Palm Beach. But go download that Hard Rock Bet app and check out the Discover page. You can see what other users are putting together, what other user bets are putting together, whether that's NBA, NFL, profit boosts, they do parlays, futures, you name it, they're doing it. And you can follow along and tap along. Check out the stats, see where the money's being placed, see what type of lines are shifting. That's all on the app. Go refer a friend and get another $50 in bonus bets, because why not? That's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Trop of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager, terms, conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. So we're at the Lou Groza Awards at the Marriott, where the 3 top collegiate place kickers are the finalists, and they're with us now. And we talked to Aiden Bird at Georgia Tech, and we got to talk with Tate Sandell out of Oklahoma. Tate, welcome in. How you doing today?
Appreciate y'all having me out.
So Tate, first of all, congrats, superb year to this point. I know you guys are not done, and you got a lot more work to be done. But how did yesterday go in terms of, did you have an idea that it would be Alabama as that team you were going to be matched up with?
We had a couple ideas who it would be, but ultimately it doesn't really matter who we play. It just matters what we do, and, we're locked in on that.
Did you guys do a watch party for it or no?
We did, yeah. But I flew in at early 6 a.m., so I wasn't there for that. But
oh, that's right. Because
yeah.
So for this type of event where we're here in West Palm Beach, you came in, you're here for in and out in 2 days, 2-3 days?
Yeah, I'll be out tomorrow.
And what does the schedule look like with practice starts in what? Do you have practice today? Did you miss it?
Practice will be Tuesday.
Practice
so I'll be back tomorrow morning.
All right, good stuff. Did they give you a couple days off last week?
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit of a lighter day. Kind of treat it like a bye week, just to keep a good rhythm, but also take care of our bodies.
All right, Tate. Well, I appreciate you giving us the time, and
Yeah,
congratulations for being on it for the Lou Groza Awards.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning. When did kicking become a reality for you? How did you sort of get into this world?
Well, kicking came into reality, I'd say, probably my junior year of high school. I was like, okay, I might be able to do something with this.
Where were you before that? Were you a soccer player or
Yeah,
something like that?
I was. I played soccer my whole life.
I mean, so we were talking about the same.
Yeah.
There's like 2 routes that people go. Either they're specialized from the beginning or they're soccer players.
Yeah.
It's soccer, or it's. I feel like I'm going to throw in there too. It's like, oh my God, I could actually do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you kick it and it goes far. Now let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Did you have your moment of where you knew, hey, I could probably do this at the next level? Like obviously, you were a soccer player, then you started doing it. Was there a moment in high school where you kind of went like, wow, I could probably, get a scholarship and do this collegiately?
Yeah, so that's kind of what, in my opinion, those ranking camps are for. You got Cole's kicking and all that stuff. I don't really care about the stars and all that. I just want to find the top guy and see where I rank compared to him, like where he's at, and just give myself like a path. Whether that's through UTSA.
Test.
Yeah, just to see where I rank on the scale. And so And to do that, there needs to be like a legit ranking system. So I didn't care what that looked like for me. I just need to know where I stood. And once I figured that out, I don't know, a lot of people don't know this. I walked on at UTSA. So that was where I started. And, the way things happen, it's a true blessing.
And you're a Texas guy, too. Did you grow up in the area as well, around UTSA?
No, I grew up in Southeast Texas, a little town called Port Neches, Texas.
Okay, and that's football town, I assume?
Oh, it is.
So you grew up hold on, here's the thing. You grew up a soccer player in football town. How does a Texas kid growing up playing soccer, why'd you go to football? What happened?
Well,
Did you get recruited by the football coach?
No. So they said, look, you're going to kick for us no matter what. But
no matter what.
Yeah.
That's
no
Texas
matter
football.
what.
That's Texas football.
Yes, it is.
And my dad was the head soccer coach at my high school, so I grew up always as a coach's kid. And
hold on, did you leave? You left that team? You left your dad's team to go kick?
Well,
or did you both?
Well, soccer is. I did both.
Soccer's
in the winter, and football's in the,
Texas,
in the
Texas.
fall.
In the fall, I'm from Northeast. Fall.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm the same way.
So,
You're not playing outside. We don't know this stuff.
All right, so you did both, and then you didn't get started until your junior year.
Well, I didn't think I could do it like at this level until kind of my senior year, where I really started developing and just kind of like look at myself in the mirror, like, okay, like how far can I really go? But once I got to my junior year, I went to a couple ranking camps and kind of established a name for myself. That's kind of when I knew my potential.
And you did 3 years at UTSA.
Yeah.
And then after UTSA, you probably knew that you were going to be entering the transfer portal and figure out where you're going to go from there.
Yeah.
How did Oklahoma get involved? Did they call you? Was that one of the top ones you had in mind initially? How'd that whole process go out?
Yeah, I had a couple schools that I had in mind that, I just knew that if I got in the portal, I could have a shot at. And, once I hopped in the portal, it was a pretty quick process, but, I wouldn't trade for anything. I mean, I loved it. It was great.
Now, a Texas kid going to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Did that raise any eyebrows back at home, partner?
Wear a hat going back to the grocery store.
All of my friends, or half of them are Texas fans, half of them are A&M fans. So half of them were so happy, and half of them were, we like you for 11 weeks, but not 1 week.
Fair enough.
Now, we see all the SEC schools, how crazy they are about football. Partner, what was the biggest difference from going from UTSA to, the Southeastern Conference, arguably one of the better conferences in college football?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's like when you go to a SEC game, you're like, this is wild. Like this is just football. This is real football. Not that UTSA wasn't real football, but this is a passionate fan base, and it is on a much bigger scale. The scales are just different. It means more, to everybody, but on this scale, it's just a little bit different.
And when you got to Oklahoma, you've been there for 1 year to this point. Lou Grove's a finalist. Tate Sandell joining us now. You get to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's having a great year. They have a great year this year. Did you know coming in, all right, this is a year where Oklahoma can knock on the door of the college football playoff? Because you guys probably had the hardest schedule out of anybody in terms of a gauntlet going through it. Every single week you guys had something you had to deal with, and you guys came out of it. There were people, including myself, I'm like, the last 4 games, I mean, this is going to be an uphill battle to say the least. Oklahoma did it. So tell me a little bit about coming into the season. Did you realize that this team was different initially? Because you weren't there the year prior, so I was curious on how it looked to you from a special teams perspective.
Whenever I came in, it's just the thing I love the most was the culture. And when you have a good foundation, you can build a big house on top of it. And just establishing that culture, and whatever you do in the past, good or bad, that's not what you're judged off of. For me, it's what you do right now. And just we weren't trying to go 12-0. We were just trying to go 1-0. And I knew Coach Venables, his plan for us, whether it worked or not, it was the right plan, and we were going to try to execute it as well as we could.
Now, partner, being a kicker, you got nerves of steel, but give me a nerve-wracking moment this season.
Alabama fourth quarter. You had a great game in the Alabama game, so let's stick on that. That's the toughest environment you could possibly play in. You had a 52-yarder that game, if I had my numbers right, and then you had the go-ahead field goal down 21-20 early in the fourth quarter, I want to say, I believe.
Yeah.
So talk about an environment. I don't know if you can get much more hostile than that. That was a game that was, all right, Oklahoma needs this game to get in the postseason.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that and your perspective coming in and your nerves in the game, and when they called your name early fourth quarter, how'd you feel?
I would really kind of talk about the week prior at Tennessee.
Fair enough.
Because that was we had to go 4-0 to get in the playoff. I mean, it was a must. He showed us the graphics. Said, look, fellas, we got to do what we got to do. But we don't have to go 4-0. We got to go 1-0 each week. And that first kick from 55 yards against a little breeze in Rocky Top, you know, that's
Start rolling the shoulders.
Yeah, a little bit, you know.
But it wasn't about that for me. It's just about just swinging my leg and giving it a shot. And, you know, I put in the work and just give myself a shot. You know, I'm not going to leave a putt short. I'm going to give it a shot. And if it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, you know, I'll swing that. I'll hit the next one.
What was the worst environment, Tennessee or Alabama at
That
Alabama?
Tennessee was definitely the craziest.
More than Bryant-Denny.
Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Wow.
Was that a night game? I believe it was.
I think a lot of
that makes a big difference.
A lot of the guys on the team will agree, as we were talking about it.
And they all said that Tennessee.
Now Bryant-Denny was rocking, but
that was a 3:30 game too. So it's a little different.
But still, those damn pom-poms.
But it's,
I can't stand those damn pom-poms.
They were popping.
Tennessee is an underrated fan base. You know,
it
Tennessee,
is.
As
it
a
is.
School, I mean, they didn't win a big game all year, but nonetheless, that was an awesome 2-game stretch that you had.
Yeah.
And developing, I'm curious about this too. You're a kicker for a big SEC team. You're a great kicker. You had a superb year. The team has confidence in you to hit kicks. There are a lot of teams throughout college football, I'm sure that you've seen. They don't have the confidence like Oklahoma has with you to get straight out there and go hit a 50-yarder if you need to. That doesn't happen everywhere. Building that trust, where does that start in terms of you weren't here for 4 years. This is you coming in. All right, we got a new kicker in the mix now. Building that trust with the guys, is that just every time they call my name, I got to be ready for it? Is that established in training camp? Tell me a little bit about building the trust of everybody on the team, because that's really what it takes to be a great kicker in college.
I think it definitely what you said, build it in training camp. You know, the kicks aren't made on Saturdays. The kicks are made on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think, you know, it's not about being cocky, just about being confident and just establishing good energy about yourself when you're walking onto the field and just acting like you've been there before. You're not new to it. You're true to it. And just have a little swag about yourself. You know, you're here for a reason. Like, you're that guy. Like, be that guy. And if you're not that guy, just, you know, be that guy the next time. You know, and don't be like a fair weather guy. You know, be the same guy all the time, on and off the field. I think that's what I try to do. I try to strive for. And, you know, it's been good.
Now, partner, it's been a great year for Oklahoma. How battle-tested are you guys? Obviously, you got the whole season still in front of you. How battle-tested do you think you guys are?
I mean, when you look at our resume, you know, there's nobody in the country that we think we can't hang with. You know, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the ball. You know, we're just put the ball down. You know, we're ready for it.
And one thing we were talking about with Aiden, too, is collegiate kicking is, in a lot of ways, harder than NFL kicking because hash marks are wider, the environments are a lot different, a lot more intense, in my opinion. Tell me a little bit about when you're kicking in the wide hashes, where are your spots? Does the team, I'm sure the team knows where you like to have your spots. The thing is, I mean, you're, 23 to 24 this year, 7 for 7 for 50. I don't know if there are bad spots, but where are your preferences in terms of where you like kicking, and how did you sort of come to those conclusions? What are you good at?
It's kind of just, you know, we chart every kick in practice, and so we kind of just look at the charts after each practice, and we kind of just, so all right, so where are our misses from, where are our makes from? We just give it up to a percentage, and so that way, you know, the numbers don't lie, and I just tell my guys to look, you know, in between inside each upright, you know, I don't really have a preference on the hash. You just have to adjust your angle just a little bit more. So it's really not that big of a thing. You know, I just tell the guys, look, don't make it a thing. Just, you know, I don't have a preference. But don't ask me, don't make it a thing.
Now, do you watch tape? Like, explain to us how watching tape works for a kicker. Is there a kicker you idolized, maybe growing up, or is it Aubrey? Is it his guy Cam Little for the Jags? Is there a process of watching tape, and do you have someone that you idolize?
So the process of watching tape, you know, it's not like one of those things where we're cutting up tape for 2 or 3 hours, but you know, we're just watching our film and our tendencies. Like, we have these tendencies that we want to do and we don't want to do. And, you know, as a kicker, or at least for me, like, every time I miss a kick, I know exactly what I did wrong. So we watch it on tape, we see it, we say, look, you know, we're not going to sit here and overcoach it. Just, you know, quit doing that. Don't do that. So it's just kind of being mindful of that in practice and forming good habits during the week to just set yourself up for success on game day. And as far as idolizing a kicker, you know, I mean, it's kind of hard. I'm a Cowboys fan, too. It's kind of hard not to say Brandon Aubrey. I know, right? Yeah.
It's so overrated.
It's a pain.
So overrated.
It's a pain.
He's a great kicker, but like Cam Little
hey,
has the NFL
He's
record,
a Jag
so
fan, though. So
it's ridiculous. Everybody, during the broadcast, you never hear the end of it about how every time they cross midfield, it's Brandon Aubrey territory. And they never say it during the Jags.
No, but everyone forgets about the great Phil Dawson up in Cleveland, okay? But okay, Brandon Aubrey, I got it. And listen, when you get to midfield, it's, you got 3 points. How can you idolize a guy like that?
And when you're sitting there and when you're developing your kicking ability, was it about developing accuracy? Was it about developing leg power, leg strength? Was it a mixture of both? Where did you sort of specialize at the start? Where did you work to continue on to this point in your career?
To me, it's all about getting my leg, not just necessarily stronger, but faster, like creating that whip. It's like a lot of like a golf swing. Like you want to be able to hit the ball farther, but you can't. You want your dispersion to be tight. So it's all about just being proportional and, just because like you're 6'5", 220, you can hit a golf ball really far, but does it go straight? Does it go all the way right, all the way left? Like you want to be able to like manage your strength and manage your speed, without losing too much accuracy.
Interesting. And I got to ask you this, too, because we asked Aiden this.
Yeah.
Does icing work?
I mean,
is it overrated? If I'm a kicker, that's overrated.
It is.
But I'm not a kicker, so I don't know.
But you know it's coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
it's coming.
It's one of those things where, like, it's only a thing if people make it a thing. Like, just
I like that.
That's why
Right.
they know just not to talk to me.
It's a shtick. You know what I mean? It's a shtick at best. Now, Tate, let me ask you this. When you're not, making 55, 60-yard field goals, what are you doing? Do you video gamer? Are you a golfer? We had a golfer on. What are you doing when you're not, bagging 60-yard field goals?
Fishing and golf.
Fishing and golf. True Texas man.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, fishing and golf.
That's it. I don't know. Now, to switch back, last thing here, I appreciate you joining us. Tate Sandell, the Oklahoma kicker Luke Rozo Award finalist. When Mateer hurt his hand, midpoint of the year, you had the Texas game. He was sort of back into the fold a little bit. We were all having questions. I believe it was his throwing hand. I had to double check. But, all right, you lose the Red River rivalry game. Then, all right, now there's questions. How healthy is Mateer? You got to regroup a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what that week post-Texas loss was in terms of regrouping the team. What did Venables do differently? What was his first message to the team? I'm curious how SEC coaches respond after tough in-conference losses such as a rivalry game. What did that next week look like to kind of regroup you guys?
We didn't do anything different. It's all, and his message was simple. It's everything that's in front of us is still very accomplishable. Have we made it a little harder on ourselves? Yeah. But, he always says you don't put championship rings on smooth hands. So just being, and staying true to that, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And, it's just something there are going to be bumps in the road. There's no doubt about it. You're going to lose games. But it's how you respond. And we responded the right way, I think.
Interesting. So now after the second loss,
yeah,
then it turns into you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go 4-0 here.
Backs against the wall.
We can't lose another game. That was made apparent by the coaches that next week of practice? All right, that's it.
Yeah.
There's our buffer. Now we're done.
Coach Wilson, the night before the Tennessee game, he said, he was in tears. He said, how much is enough? When is enough enough? And that made it very clear what it meant to him, to us. We had a players only meeting after. It was about an hour long. We were we laid it all out.
You had a players only before Tennessee?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have players only meetings all the time, but that one just was a little bit different to me.
Well, you knew what was ahead of you.
Right.
You knew what you had to do.
Right.
Wow.
We made it very clear to ourselves what we were about to walk into, and we wanted to be the ones walking out. So.
Well, Tate, we appreciate you giving us the time. We appreciate you talking with us, giving us a little bit of a background at your kicking ability and Oklahoma's season a little bit. Best of luck the rest of the way throughout all this. I know this is a lot of rah-rah. We know you got games to play. So I know you can't wait to get back on the practice
You're all
field.
business, bro. You got practice Tuesday.
Looking forward to continue following your career, dude. Congratulations, and appreciate you giving us the time.
Appreciate it, Boomer.
That's Tate Sandell, the Oklahoma place kicker Luke Rozo Award finalist, Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. We'll take a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Robert Gilman, partner and leader of Anshin's Real Estate Group.
Under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, 100% bonus depreciation has been permanently reinstated. Real estate businesses are now able to immediately expense the full cost of qualifying property. Even projects with millions in improvements can benefit from first-year expensing without any spending cap. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we strategically guide real estate businesses through these legislative changes to help them develop a long-term investment strategy and boost cash flow. If you're a real estate professional looking to enhance profitability and minimize tax liabilities, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
All right, let's talk about your game day routine. You've got the jersey, the cooler, the tickets, but what about your ride? Show up looking like a champion with Unlimited Auto Wash Club. With 6 South Florida locations, every membership includes unlimited 100% hand washes, 1 per day, every day. From a quick exterior shine to the ultimate special with wax, Rain-X, and interior touch-ups, Unlimited Auto Wash keeps your car looking its best all season long. Call 561-WASH-ME-TOO or visit a location today.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Snowbirds, welcome back. Time to trade your coats and hats for swim trunks and sunscreen. And get your home ready for company. Before the family arrives, make sure your home's water is in top shape. Hard water and hidden minerals can leave spots on dishes, dull your laundry, and dry out your skin. Not exactly festive. Schedule your free water test today before the holiday rush. Culligan will make sure your water is as clear and welcoming as that ocean view. Visit Culligan.com or just say,
Hey, Culligan!
Overtime intensity meets non-stop debate.
Hey guys, that's a embarrassment out there!
This is the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you at the Marriott here in downtown West Palm Beach. Having a good time here. It's the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Down the Hard Rock Bet app today. We talked to 2 of the Luke Grozo Award finalists, award awarded to the top collegiate kicker at the college level. We talked to Aiden Burr. We talked to Tate Sandell. Now it's time to talk to Kansai Matsuyawa, the place kicker for University of Hawaii. Welcome in. How are you today? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
All right, all right, I got to get this out of the way. We talked about this right before we came in. Kansai, you have a long way to come to get to West Palm Beach.
Yes.
From Hawaii. When did you fly in? How did you get here?
I got here yesterday, 2 p.m.
And when do you fly out?
Friday.
Oh, so you're here for a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're flying out on Friday.
Friday, yes.
Okay. So coming in, flying from Hawaii, what airport did you go to get to here?
So originally I was going to Atlanta.
That's what I would have guessed.
Yeah, but flight got delayed, so I actually went to Detroit.
Why? Why do you go to? So let me get this straight. You fly from Hawaii nonstop to Detroit.
Yep.
And then you go Detroit to down here.
Yep.
That's a long way to go. You could have went to
It's
Dallas.
no easy way. I feel like there's no easy way, though.
That's a tough travel
You know what
day.
I mean?
That's a
like,
tough travel day.
It is, especially you're getting delayed, but regardless, it's always tough getting here, I feel like.
Conte, we appreciate you being here. This is an awesome event. It's so good to see you and the other kickers collegiately honored for this great award, the Lou Groza Award. Now, tell me a little bit, because I've heard the story. I want to hear it from you yourself. You're a place kicker for Hawaii. You're born in Tokyo. Where did this all start? Give us a little bit of how you got into kicking. When did you get interested in it?
Yep.
Tell us about that.
I never played football in Japan.
Is there a big football presence in Japan? Can you go play American football?
I don't think so. Honestly, it's a minor sport in Japan.
It's baseball. That's baseball.
Yeah, baseball and soccer.
Yeah.
I grew up with soccer, so that's my background. And
3 for 3. All soccer players. You guys are all soccer players.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
By the way, Japan about to be in the World Cup here next summer, too.
Yes.
All right, so you were a soccer player growing up.
Mm-hmm.
When did you realize you wanted to shift out of that into potentially football?
So I wanted to go to college in Japan playing soccer, but I couldn't, and I failed college. And after I failed college, I had nothing like 2 years. So until 20, I had no idea what I want to do for the future.
Wow.
And then my dad gave me plane tickets to the U.S., and then I watched the first time NFL in person.
Where'd you go see?
Oakland. Oakland Raiders.
Your dad sent you to Oakland?
I mean,
it's close.
But I mean,
the proximity.
I know.
Yeah.
The proximity.
I've been to Oakland.
And trust me, we all have. All right, we all know what you're alluding to.
So
I'm an Oakland Athletics fan. Well, formerly it's the baseball team.
Yes.
Now they're just the Athletics. They don't have a city park.
It's a disgrace. The city screwed up.
I know. So my dad sent
Oakland,
me.
I'd send you L.A. You know.
Yeah, kind of it.
Let
Yeah.
him tell the story. So Oakland.
Yeah, I trip along like for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So my dad sent me like west coast U.S. So I traveled like San Diego, Bay
San
Area,
Francisco,
and,
yep.
yeah,
Los Angeles.
and L.A. Yeah, and then I think like during the trip, and I went to San Francisco. I wanted to watch like San Francisco 49ers game, but they travel. So, but I found out Oakland Raiders has a game on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first game in person. Yeah.
All right, so he wanted to go to a 49er game, which I can listen to. That's great. I actually, but they weren't in town; they were on the road. All right, so you saw a game right then and there. When you were watching it, you got interested in football and you started watching football, or did you watch the game and thought, I could kick, I could do what he's doing on the field?
I mean,
How'd that go?
I got impressed by like the business side. As a huge stadium, fans, like energy, and I had no idea I was gonna play, but like that experience like stick in my head. Even I go back to Japan, and I had no purpose. I had no energy to leave, and that football experience kind of gave me a like something like
clicked.
Yeah, something, you know. Then I wanted to go back to U.S. to do something, and I was like, I might kick. Yeah, I'm going to NFL. And
wow.
So when did you first line up your kick? Like, walk me through that moment when you first kicked the ball up the uprights. You're like, all right, wow.
It was in Tokyo, right?
Yeah, it was in Tokyo.
You started practicing in Tokyo.
Yep.
And how'd you start practicing? If nobody plays American football, what'd you do?
Just like practice myself. I bought the football and then kicking stick, and then I went to the park at midnight and then just started kicking by myself.
Kicking.
Midnight.
Was there a post? Was there any post?
No, there's no post. Just a net. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you started kicking, and then how long of a process? Were you self-taught? You didn't have a coach, so you just started teaching yourself how to do this?
Yes.
The process was fun. Just I didn't like find some coach to ask how to kick. Just learn by myself, and especially like I feel like I had to go to U.S. at some point, so I wanted to learn from the best, and obviously NFL kicker is the best. So I watch lots of NFL kicker on YouTube and just imitate and film myself.
All right, so that's the film portion of it. Do you have a specific NFL kicker that you're consistently watching and consistently going through?
I watch it a lot, NFL kickers, because like they have like everyone has like a good points, and then But I always say I watch Jason Myers from Seattle Seahawks.
Second time he's been mentioned.
Aiden loves him too. Wow.
Yeah.
So you watched Jason Myers, and that was your guy to kind of emulate. Wow, how about that? Kansei Matsuzawa joining us now, Matsuzawa, and he is the Lou Groza Award finalist out of University of Hawaii. You had a great season, and you guys had an awesome. You got Cal in your bowl game, which is going to be at home, by the way.
Yes.
So that's going to be very fun to see.
Yep.
But on top of that, you're a senior. So, all right, so you start teaching yourself how to kick. You want to go to the United States. You want to be an NFL kicker. How do you get into the college football sphere? How do you get seen? How do you start to get recruited? How did this all come about, and how were you able to get under the roster?
Yeah, so first thing, to go to NFL, I felt like I got to go to college. Then I was looking for the all the information, but it's barely comes out. So I feel like I had to go to junior college first, because I couldn't speak English and I had no English certification out of high school.
Right.
I wanted to go to D1 school immediately, but I felt I couldn't. So I found one junior college in Ohio, very small town, which is called Hawking College. And then I got into Hawking College and then started football.
And so you're at Hawking College.
By Athens. It's by Athens,
yes,
Ohio.
Yes.
So
he's from Ohio.
Oh, really?
Went
Nice.
to Ohio State and graduated at Ohio University.
Oh.
So I actually know where Hawking is. Yeah.
15 minutes away.
So talk about that experience and how it got you ready for an experience like Ohio. Or, sorry, Hawaii. Excuse me.
So I feel like I was a baby because I couldn't speak English. And then no football. I don't even know football 101.
Yep.
Then I put myself into that harder situation, and that makes me as strong as a man, as a football player, and dedication, all the inside motivation from me,
Yep.
and then that's
made you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
It made you believe in yourself and that you could actually do it. Then Hawaii comes calling. Talk about some of your favorite moments that you've had playing for Hawaii, and some of the big moments that you had being at such a great university.
Yeah, my favorite moment is game-winning field goal against the Stanford
this
year.
season.
Yeah, and we really wanted to win that game. Once we gave up the touchdown for Stanford, I was like, oh, it's gonna be my game, and then I feel like I was going to kick a game-tying field goal and a game-winning field goal. And I think that win is really important for the team, fans, and whole entire program. So I was so happy to help the team win.
Now, Kansei, one thing about kicking is it's easy to get nervous, right? Because you're the last line of defense. You get out there, you got to hit this, and it's all you. It's only you that you're watching. Did you ever find yourself getting nervous in environments where everybody's watching? Did you sort of embrace that? Tell me a little bit about how that worked.
I used to feel that negative feeling, especially last year. I always fighting something different, not on the field. But this year, I just focus on myself and then always stay positive. That's the key word for me, and that's being able to stay calm, stay in the routine. And I don't feel any pressure this year.
You don't feel any pressure?
Yep.
Well, Kansei, we appreciate you giving us the time. Congratulations on being nominated and honored as a finalist for the Lou Groza Award. You've had such an amazing season, and this is NFL kicker right here. You made that, you're going to make that dream happen. I'm looking forward to following your career. I'd want you to play for I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. I'd want you to play for the Jaguars. Well, I like Cam Little.
You come play for the Browns. We need a kicker. I'm from Cleveland, so you go play for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm a Cam Little guy. Cam Little wants to, if he gets traded,
I hope you like snow, brother, because you'll come to Cleveland.
He loves Ohio. Ohio.
He's already an Ohio guy.
He loves Ohio.
But we don't do this. We don't do the Bungles. The Bengals. Sorry, no Bungles.
Okay.
No Bungles.
Do you have a favorite team?
No.
No favorite team.
Okay,
He's
perfect.
Waiting.
Come to the Browns.
Anywhere.
He's waiting.
Come to the Browns.
Kente, congratulations. Looking forward
Thank
to
you so
talking
much.
to you soon. All right?
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you, partner.
Thank you.
That's Kente Matsuyawa, the Hawaii place kicker, Lou Groza Award finalist. Appreciate him giving us the time. Go download the Hard Rock Bet app today, where you could bet on just about anything. College football, you could bet on the NFL, NBA, you could bet on the college basketball. It's all in one spot. You could bet player by player, team by team, futures, string them all together on a parlay or a prop. That's all the places you can be to get involved in the app. Try it today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in for the wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. That's Mike Rizzo. I'm Colin Russo. Saying so long. This has been the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. We'll see you next time right here, ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed